I'd storm out of here too, sir.
Speaking of meth, I gotta take...
He was with you. He's your father, right? Was that your father? That was your dad. Yeah, your dad stormed out of here during that meth chunk. He must be a police officer or something. What does your dad do? Is he a police officer? Yes. Yep. I could tell by your mustache that your father was a cop.
Put this on, son. We're going to town.
I love it. Well, he's got diarrhea and he's in the bathroom right now. I've never seen a man run like that before. He had one of these noises in his tummy. I gotta get the out of here right now. Welcome back, poop pants. Welcome back, officer. Thank you for your service. Look at you. Never seen a police officer respond. Me? What are you guys talking about me? I can't believe it. It's crazy. You ever pants? Twice. I fucking love the honesty. Same day. I thought I was done. I trusted a fucking butthole and it failed me. What happened on the first one? Were you in a car chase and you realized you were the only one there? Holy it's just me. I know that was uncalled for. Thank you for service. Thank you for your service. Okay, what happened on your pants day? I'm guessing. You got rear-ended? Nope, let's find out. Let's find out before we go any further. You were in a car. You just weren't walking down the street in a tight pair of pants and some guy put his dick in you, right? And you yourself. Surprise! You got rear-ended and you your pants? I love that. I've got to start using my mirrors. I didn't even know anybody was behind me. You make oats? Huh. I'm gonna be honest with you, it just blew up my mind. I had no idea they were made. I just thought they were oats. And they just put them in a bag and then we added the hot water and that's how they fucking became a meal. What's the process?
I couldn't tell you.
You sure you work there? Or are you in safety? Are you one of those guys just have no idea what's going on, just yelling at people?
Too close to the oats. We lost the guy in there and now he's in cream of wheat. Cream of Will Wheaton. We sent him down there just the body.
Ma'am, has he ever come home?
No, we're not having cereal tomorrow.
How'd you meet him? How'd you become lovers?
It's been so long ago.
It's been so long ago?
I'd tell you, it was at a bar.
It was at a bar, just to let you know. You don't even remember? Holy f***.
Oh no, I'll keep him.
You'll keep him?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, but you don't remember how you found him.
It's a long story.
It's a long story? Well, we got some time. Let it out. You're sitting in the front. Don't come to the front.
I'm not telling you.
We'll sit at the back. Good word. I want to know. Tell us how you...
I told him to pull my hair.
You told him to pull your hair? Was it stuck in a fan or something? That's how you met? Just walked up to him on a bus?
You're gonna f me, you're gonna pull my hair.
Don't just look at me.
Make me feel bald.
What's your cookie shop called?
Crave.
Crave.
Oh, you got that. Apparently I'm not the only one with a little chub in the pants, too. Ooh, oh, Crave. Are you all work at Crave, or?
I own it.
You are you? You're Susie Crave? Nice to meet you, ma'am. I had no idea. Get down. Who does your lawns, Susie?
Omar.
What'd you just say? That's why she's got a manager. She's not good at talking to people. I don't know if you heard that. She got all nervous and got gas at the same time as trying to answer. My gallbladder. She was going to do more Good Morning Tulsa the other day, but she panicked and couldn't go on Good Morning Tulsa. What do you got here for us this morning, Susie Crave? Well, these are... Chocolate chip cookies. What kind of cookies do you like, ma'am? I see you've got purple on. I feel like you like cookies. You do? Chocolate chip? Tell us about it. We have that. Duh, can you imagine having a cookie store with no chocolate chip? We're gonna be different. We're just doing gingerbread. Everybody loves gingerbread. You guys have any chocolate chip? No, it's a gingerbread. I love it. How much for... How many do you want? A baker's dozen. That's 13. Goddamn baker right over there. It's a goddamn baker right over there. I'll tell you what that is. 13. As a manager, you probably want to get involved with that.
You're costing us money every time you count. We stop at 12. That's a dozen, you dip. Well, I like to add one more horn there. I'm a baker. I like to give one more. It's goddamn Susie Crave's first store, and we're not going to lose it, you piece of shit.
You gotta get a gallbladder taken out. Which one of these fellows are you married to? Yeah, that's the guy that gets some of that Susie Crave cookie. How'd you fall in love with him, ma'am? How'd you become lovers? How? Remember, there's a day you weren't, and then there was a day you did. What happened in between that? Have you guys ever talked to a stranger before? Like, it's weird the way you guys do it. How? You want to know how I fell in love with this guy? I'll tell you how. He had a dozen eggs, and I was ready to make some cookies. I said I will suck off with those clucks. Ooh, we're having so much fun, and then I went too far. Maybe a hand job for eggs, but not a sucker. Eggs are expensive, that's right. Oh my God, are you backing up while you're blowing people for eggs? I'm trying to keep the cost down, and lips are free. This lady over here, you ever seen an uncircumcised penis?
Yeah.
Sounds like you just relived one saying that. What?
My sons.
Your sons? Oh my God. Calm down, people. She f***ing raised them. It wasn't like, hey, show me your dick. It wasn't like that. You guys booed her like, she's gonna see it. It's her son. Oh, we should get that snipped, and it just kept getting away from us. His ears are burning right now.
Somebody's talking about my cock. It's my fucking mom, I know it. She always brings it up.
Oh my God, how old is he?
45.
45? Why did you bring up your son's cock when he's 45? Like, why couldn't you brought somebody else up? Like, why? My son, who just retired, has a wonderful cock. How old are you, buddy? How old are you?
62.
62. Nice, living life, and that's your lover right there? That's your woman? Fuck yeah, blah, blah, blah. Did you say wife? What does that mean?
So-called wife.
Recently married.
Recently married? Good for you, buddy. Yes, she's 62. Finally calmed down. How long did you guys get married? How long ago? 6 months ago. My God. I'm guessing it was in some sort of vacation spot.
Thailand.
It was in Thailand? Ma'am? Are you Thai?
You're not Thai? You went to Thailand and you got a white girl? Well, that guy's very specific.
I don't trust the Asians, one. Some of them have I'm going back to white. They may not be as pretty, but they don't have penises.
You're gorgeous, ma'am. You could be a Thai woman at any point.
Are you really 5'6"? Stand up.
I'm not that tall.
Oh. I think you're about 5'8", just to let you know, so you might want to check again. You seem about 5'8". How tall are you, Beardy? 6 foot. Make him stand up. Stand up.
There you go.
Oh my God. He's definitely wearing boots. There's no way. He's about 5'11", but he's got...
She's 6 foot and she's taller than him.
You didn't even say who she's... You just him. You're just pointing in the direction of him. You don't even... Him? 5'6"? Yeah, we know now numbers work. Oh my God. Ma'am, can you walk over and stand next to him? There's been a challenge. And oh my God, he pulled her hair. Okay, now, can you do me a favor? Can you pick him up and take him back to your table?
Like blowjobs?
I'm not offering you one, just asking. Weird turn that came out of my mouth. Hey,
You mind if I suck your dick? Thank you for your service.
calm down there, buddy. Not sucking a dick. What are we talking about right now? Oh my God. For the military? Okay, we already clapped. Remember earlier? We can only clap so many times for the military, okay? We seen the parade. Not that impressive. Just a bunch of bushes. They didn't even dress up.
All right, guys, get your camouflage on. Let's walk down the street and see if they notice us.
Were you in the military as well?
Yes, sir.
What did you do? What did you do? Navy.
I was a diver.
He was a diver. He used to wear little underwears, jump. And do a double somersault in the air, confuse the Japanese, and land with no water. And that's how World War II was won, by that guy right there. And his budgie smugglers that he wore. Well, I think I speak for everybody else. What kind of porn do you like? Corn? Yes, yeah. What kind of corn do you like? Yeah, that's the question I'm asking.
Hey, you like it on the cob, or you like somebody to do it for you?
Who asked that question?
You ever had cream corn? My God, that would blow your goddamn tits right off your bottom.
Oh my God, this is the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. What kind of corn you like? You like it?
You like it sweet or dull? You pop it? You ever pop a corn?
Oh my God, that's fucking goddamn fantastic. Porn. What's that? You live with him, ma'am? What do you find on his browser? A lot of Orville Redenbacher, I'm guessing. He's just jacking off to popcorn commercials.
Tell me more about this skinny pop.
You guys married? Yeah, how'd you meet her? How'd you become lovers with her?
Met her in a pub.
Met her in a pub? All liquored up? What pub was it?
The Shamrock in
The Shamrock? My God. In Toowoomba? Oh my God, it sounds like there's not many women there. Sounds like you are a hell of a conversational artist. Just you and a bunch of miners hanging out, and you just walked up. What's that? Farmers? Oh my God. And ma'am, he told you had land. I've got land. I've got a mouth. You have chickens, farmer? You do? Oh my God, we should follow them home. How many chickens you got? 4. I'm pretty sure you're not a farmer. And anybody can have 4.
I'm a farmer. I've got over 4 chickens at home. Sadly, the government didn't give me much land. I'm in an apartment building.
Why do you only have 4 chickens?
Because I don't have a farm.
You don't have a farm?
You said I was a farmer, not me.
No, you said. I said you were a miner. You said I'm a farmer.
No, I said there was lots of farms.
What the is going on right now? Did my mom send you to get me out of comedy? What kind of dogs you got? 2 Shih Tzus? I would not expect that from you. Back. What's the other one? A terrier? I love him. What are their names?
Molly.
Oh my God. Sorry, ma'am. Didn't mean to laugh at you, but might want to have a lozenge before you tell us their names. Molly! She's been over there snoring up a storm, dry as a desert. What's the dog's name? Molly! Sorry, Molly. What's that? Chelsea. Molly, Chelsea. And what? Elena. I can love you. I can love you. You're just so annoyed by me. It's fantastic. Oh my God. You made my whole weekend by saying your dog's name at the end of the show. Like everything's made me giggle a little bit tonight by the way you I just want to go home and my own toilet. You ever your pants? You never your pants. You remembers?
I did.
What happened?
6 months ago.
6 months ago? What happened?
I was in Venice and I ate too much gelato.
He was in Venice. Those damn Italians. And what happened?
I pants while walking. I had too much gelato.
You finished your pants while walking?
There's no
This city smells like.
What did you eat? What do you think you ate?
a lot of gelato.
A lot of gelato. Like how much?
2 cups. My mom warned me, don't have any dairy, but I said, shut up, bitch. You're not in charge. I'm going to Europe by myself. Not with you, Mom. I'm gonna eat gelato.
Good luck. Good luck, Barry. Were you with other people? Did the Pope come out or say anything? Is that how he died? Oh, yeah. Just seen an American pants. Were you with other people?
That's my buddy, yeah.
You were with your buddy?
Yeah.
What'd you say? Hey, ya! We gotta get a scooter. Did you jump in the water or what did you do?
Dog park.
Dog park? Just dragged your ass on the grass? We need to talk more. The rest of the crowd is that is awesome because it started out, you didn't remember your pants. My pants?
No, 6 months ago. I was on a gelato quest. I ate gelato in 17 different Italian cities when Blueberry snuck up on me. Thank God we were near a dog park. Those Italian whippets are light.
Hey everybody, welcome to Ian Bagg Bought a House, podcast video cast about me, Ian Bagg, buying a house on the Virginia shore, and my mother-in-law lives in it while we turn it into a family vacation home, and she becomes the caretaker of that house. I come in every week and I talk to somebody else new in the art of owning a house, buying a house, fixing a house, dealing with problems that you never thought you'd get having a house. And this week we've got realtor Scott Capelli. He is from Newport. He's with First Team Christie's. So, we're going to hear a lot of good stories about rich people, blah, blah, blah. It's going to be fantastic. Going to have a good time. This week, let's see. So last week we did the show on July 2nd. So since that time, we've had Independence Day go by. And what an Independence Day it was. First of all, we party at our house on July 3rd because we live in Long Beach, and the Long Beach Fire Department, they do a big old party with fireworks on July 3rd, and we all get on the beach and watch it, and everybody goes, ooh, ah, ooh, ah. And I have a vape pen that I got from some people, and I got high for it, and I couldn't stop giggling to myself while doing talk in my head, because we had our friends over, and their little girl was doing the same talk out loud that I was having in my head. She was mocking the fireworks, and I was loving it because I think fireworks are stupid. She's like, oh, that's the best one. Oh, that's the best one. Oh, they're all the same, so they're the best ones. Those are best ones. And I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, wow, this is exciting. This is exciting. This must be what sex is like after you get snipped. That's what I was thinking. Anyways. Chris came out on So July 4th, lying in bed, we had a little bit of an earthquake, and my wife was in the living room, and she goes, yeah, I think it's an earthquake. And I said, no, it's just waves hitting the house, because we always get waves hitting the sand in front of the house, and it always shakes the house. And I'm like, oh, that's an earthquake, because it hasn't stopped. It's supposed to be stopping after a couple seconds there. And so I just lied in bed. You're supposed to roll over, is what you're supposed to do when an earthquake happens and you're in bed. Roll over, hide your organs from things falling from the roof, and protect your neck and head so you don't get killed. Just to let everybody know, I know what you do during an earthquake. I just don't do it. All right? So that was that earthquake. Friday night, I went and did a show at the Hollywood Laugh Factory. And I was just waiting to go on. And as I was walking to the front door to go outside, because I don't hang out, I just pace around. As I was walking outside, the doorway started to move. I'm like, oh, good, we're having another earthquake. And the guy that was on stage was like, this place is moving. And I went outside thinking I might get followed by a bunch of people. Not one person moved out of that building. Not one person. I was the only one that left the building. Do you know what you're supposed to do during an earthquake, Chris?
Get in a doorway usually?
No, you're supposed to drop to the ground and use anything to protect you. So go under a table or whatever. All right? That's what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to get in the doorway because the doorway can split and throw you out of the door, and it also can cut you in half. That was the other thing. It can cut you in half. Did you know that?
I did not know that, and I'm glad that I just stayed. I was here on the 11th floor when it happened.
You're on the 11th floor?
Yeah, I was working late.
Oh, man.
And it was a little scarier that...
Were you by yourself?
Yes.
Oh, so you're in the bathroom taking a poop all by yourself, and all of a sudden everything started shaking?
Yes.
Did it shake for long?
It was a good it felt like 4 or 5 seconds.
Yeah, it was a while. So when I was outside, there was cops pulling people over just before it happened, and they had motorbikes, and the one cop kept holding onto his motorbike. He goes, I think it's going to fall over. I don't want it to fall over. And I'm like, let it fall over. Don't save your motorbike, dude. Save you. But the stoplights were doing this. They were waving back and forth. But just like when I was in Omaha and they had a tornado, and the tornado went probably, I don't know, just in front of the club and took out things in front of the club, and we were all hiding in the stairwell. As soon as it was over, everybody went into the showroom and we did a show. So I went on stage as soon as the earthquake was over, and all I could think was, this is the longest 15-minute set I've ever done, because I want fucking out of this place. That's all I was thinking. I wasn't being a pansy, but at the same time, I was like, let's get this over. I've never looked for the light. I'm like, please let the light come on, hurry up. Let me get out of here and let Chris Fonseca go on stage and be killed by this shit. I want out of here. And then Saturday night, we went to the old Ice House, and Chris did a set. I had a bunch of friends come out. Who was it, Chris? It was me, you.
It was Carlos Kotkin, Wendy Wilkins,
Dave Williamson,
and there was one other guy from San Diego, but I forgot his name.
John Wynn did a show. Josh came up.
Josh, yes.
Josh Dumel.
All extremely funny people. They were awesome.
Yeah, it was a great night. And if you came out, make sure you come out and see a show. And this week I will be at Nyack, New York, West Nyack, New York, at Levity Live, West Nyack. If you want to go to a mall that's nowhere near anything, that is almost in New York City, and you want to see me, come out to West Nyack, New York. We are going to have a great time. We got shows on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. By the way, I'm putting the brakes on Sunday shows. Sunday shows, I'm going to be switching all Sunday shows. I'm going to work on these club owners to Wednesdays, because Sundays are just a fucking letdown. Because it never packs out unless you're a huge name. That's the only time it packs out, right? So Wednesday, if I do an extra show on Wednesday instead of Sunday, it gives me time to build a little bit with the small amount of people that come out on the Wednesday with, what do they call that? Water bottle chatter? What is that when you work in an office and you talk around?
Water cooler talk.
Water
right?
cooler talk. And water cooler talk doesn't work on fucking Monday morning if I'm gone Sunday night. If I leave Sunday night is my last show. So I'm going to try to do that. That's how I'm going to work it out. I don't know why I'm swearing so much today. Swearing a lot of anger.
You survived an earthquake, so you.
I survived an earthquake. Let's make sure there's anything else that I need to talk about. Let's see. The pot was, so here it is. So on our July 3rd party, I made 3 pounds, 4 pounds worth of hamburgers for all my friends that came over, right? And then our friend Tanya came over with her new boyfriend, and it's the first time we met him. Well, Johnny likes to go skin diving and go swimming in the ocean, showed up with 14 lobsters that he caught off the Catalina coast. So guess whose hamburgers didn't get eaten, because everybody was freaking out about there being fresh lobster from the California seas. Yeah, we still got hamburger in our fridge. That's why I'm angry. But his name was Rand. Do you know what Rand is short for?
I have no idea.
Randy.
Really? That's it?
He had to shorten it up. People couldn't spell it, so he had to. Yeah, he goes by Rand. His name was Randy, but he's like, nope, I'm not horny, so take the Y off. What do you think of that, Chris?
That's like a dad joke.
Where is speaking of dads, where's Renee today?
Well, it's his birthday, so he's getting tacos.
Oh my goodness, it's Renee's birthday, so he's getting tacos? But what about his butthole? Can his butthole survive that?
Well, he just had it checked.
He just had his butthole checked last week.
time.
That's why I missed the show. This week, he's reloading his butthole with tacos. Oh, let's get to our guest, shall we? What do you think, Chris? Shall we get to our guest? Yes. Let's put on some sunglasses so I can be cool as freak as I talk to our guest. Scott Capelli from First Team Christie's Realtor Extravaganza. You look more like a golf pro than a real estate guy, to be honest with you.
Thank you. Was going with that look. I'm not a shirt and tie guy. So
you're not a shirt and tie guy?
No, never.
Even when you're working?
If it's for like a photo shoot or like a company event, I'll throw in a tie, or I'll do the suit without a tie because I think that's equivalent.
Right.
But that's it. I hate dressing up. Worst part of the job, dressing up.
I've got a lot of questions for you. First of all, how did you get into real estate?
So when I was a kid, I was kind of always obsessed with houses. I drive to model homes and walk around and hang out there for a few hours after school.
Are you serious?
Yeah. When I got my license, I would drive around Yorba Linda to model homes because at that time there was a ton of model homes. And, they would always say, like, oh, are your parents here? And I'd be like, yeah, they're in the car. They just want me to get a brochure. Get the brochure, hop that little fence that anybody can hop, and hang out in the model homes. And I don't know. I was a weird kid. So
that's what you wanted to do?
Yeah. I mean, I was actually interested in being an architect, but then I suck at math and don't know how houses work. Yeah, I've always been obsessed with houses and new builds and floor plans and all that.
Did you ever work for a company that sold like the setup, that you're jumping, those things? No?
No, not at all. I worked for an appraiser during college. So that got me into I did all the field inspections before the market crashed. So she was super busy. I would actually go to everybody's houses, take the pictures, measure, and I probably did 2,000 or 3,000 houses back then.
Wow.
And that was kind of cool because I loved going inside people's houses. And sometimes they would just like leave, and say, lock the door on your way out. And I'd be there for 2 hours, just like walking around, obviously getting my stuff done. But
what's the weirdest thing you ever seen going into somebody's house to do an appraisal?
So you'd be surprised that people don't hide anything. You know, like I'd never looked in anybody's drawers or anything.
Right.
But one house in Long Beach, probably right by you, it was like an old craftsman style house, about $1 million, remodeled back in 2005.
Mm-hmm.
They left the biggest dildo I've ever seen in the shower. Like it was a suction cup one on the glass. And part of my job is you had to take a picture of bathroom in the kitchen. You have to take certain pictures for the lender.
Right.
So I texted my boss saying, hey, like, I don't know what about this, you know, bathroom picture. And she's just like, move it. So I get in the shower and I take like a towel and I just knock it down. And then I like angle it and take the photo, and I was on my way.
You know,
that was probably the
you know what's
weirdest
great about it? It's moved to a different place or something. When they come home, they're like, oh, this isn't the right height.
Yeah. So
that's awesome.
That was the strangest.
And I'm pretty sure it was our down the street. This couple, Vince and Chris. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. Just to let you know.
Probably.
Okay, so you do that, and then you decide you want to be a realtor. Yes.
Yes. Yep. So I've only been on the real estate side for about 3 years now, and I started in 2016. And from 2016 up until now, I've sold about like $22 million worth of houses, which.
In Newport is like 1.5 houses.
Yes. So one client was about 12 million of that. We sold a house, bought him a house, then sold it again. So
hold on, they bought a house?
Yeah.
And then they didn't like it.
We sold his house in Newport, and on the water, Newport Harbor.
Uh-huh.
We bought him a house on land, not on the harbor.
Right.
And then he died in a helicopter crash. So we had to sell it again.
Oh my God, that is a way to live. Just to let you know, just be able to live on the harbor, then live on land, and then die in a helicopter crash. That is a way of living. Oh my God. Well, you gotta thank him for helping you out.
I did. I call my Acura like his name.
That's
when I drive
funny.
it. I go, hey, thanks.
Thanks, but let's not fly. Let's not fly when you call his name. Okay, so what are the 5 things? Okay, let's say I'm selling a house. What are the 5 things I should do to make a realtor want to work with me?
You mean how to prep your house?
Well, just the 5 things. Yeah, my house should have this already done when I call you to come work with me. Okay.
So you should kind of already do your homework and, you know, based off, I mean, everybody has access to Zillow or other websites. You should know what kind of stuff, you know, is selling in your neighborhood, so you don't have an unrealistic expectation of a sales price. So you should do your homework ahead of time about, you know, like, okay, here's a range of what I think it is.
Right.
You should already have, you know, kind of you should already know where you're going to go. Are you going to sell it and buy a place? Or are you going to rent a place? What's the deal?
Just to stop you there, do you run into people not having their next step planned a lot of times?
Oh, of course. Of course. Especially, you know, a couple of years ago when the market was pretty hot, everybody wanted to sell their house and they didn't know where the hell they were going to go.
Right.
So, you know, that turns from, okay, like I'll rent a place until, you know, prices go down, I could buy something. But then they go look at rentals and they realize, you know, the rent amount is so high. Oh, now I want to buy something. Well, we're still on escrow, you know, like, so I would recommend, you know, knowing your next step in life. And that goes with a timeline as well. You know, are you willing to have the house sit on the market for a year? Are you, you know, or do you want out now? These are all things before I come over, you should know, because that's pretty much what I'm going to ask you. Also, if you know, like the payoff amount, the loan payoff amount, any liens or anything, because we'll know right off the bat when we get the title prelim report, you know, what's going on with the house. And oftentimes people are like, oh, I didn't know I owed $10,000 to Chase, you know, and I forgot to tell you I'm still paying off a pool.
Right.
Like my last house, the homeowner, they remodeled it, and I thought everything was good, and then we're about to close, and then this lien on a pool comes up, and I'm like, oh, you're paying off a pool? And it wasn't even a nice pool. Like, he remodeled the pool and owed $10,000 on the pool, and it wasn't even nice.
Well, if he needs a new pool, we have a pool guy that we had last week that is fantastic. So you let us know if you need a pool.
Nice.
So know your liens, know your next step. Know your value. Okay.
What else? Just know that it's not an easy ride sometimes.
Right.
It's not like the TV shows.
Right. It's not that. It's not. Doesn't wrap up in 30 minutes.
Nope.
Oh, okay. What is something that'll scare you off of working with somebody?
So I'm a pretty good judge of character right off the bat in terms of when I come over. If it's luckily all my clients mostly have been friends of friends, so I always reach out to those friends and be like, oh, what's the deal with this person? Am I going to go crazy? Are they very needy? Are they going to call me at midnight? So I do my research going over there, but usually when it comes to deciding on a price, right away I can tell if they're being realistic or unrealistic. And for me, I mean, if someone's way off from what I have, I know it's going to be a nightmare. And, every other realtor will take that job because every other realtor will say, hey, you want to sell it for $1 million? Yeah, that's a great idea because they want that. They want the job, but it won't sell for $1 million. So I come in, I'm very realistic. So right off the bat, I could tell if they're nuts or not. And then I decide if I want to continue that arrangement with them or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you had any, before I ask that question, is there a nightmare for a seller that's different for a nightmare for a buyer? Are they just both unrealistic?
They're both nightmares. Usually the nightmare is, the closing time. If the buyer thinks the escrow is going to be 45 days and they're all moved out, they're all ready to go, and then it doesn't, that's their worst nightmare. It's not closing on time. On the selling side, it's the same thing because, they have such a small window to move if these people don't have another place to go that, they only have 2 or 3 days to move everything. And if it's not closing those 2 or 3 days, it's hell.
Right.
So it's usually when it comes to the closing time that they're both equally, they could both get screwed. And
basically what you're saying is if you're selling a house, have some place to put your stuff in storage because chances are it's not going to happen on time. If you're moving into a place, probably have an extra month's rent or whatever going on so you can be relaxed and not a dick to probably you is who they're probably a dick to.
Yeah, it's all my fault.
It's all your fault. Have you had any famous clients that were a pain in the butt?
Yes. So
hold on, you're allowed to tell us this?
Yeah, it's fine. So in Newport Beach, the guy that died in the helicopter crash, my client,
he's a pain in the butt. Yeah, he's a pain in the butt.
Sorry, dude. So when he bought this house, not on the harbor, it was listed for $5 million. We got it to him for $4 million. A beautiful house, all one story, steel, totally remodeled. And when we got it for $4 million and we closed, this woman from Flip or Flop, she's on that show on HGTV, Christina.
Susie Yoga Pants.
What was that?
Susie Yoga Pants, that's what I call her.
Yes, in her Lululemon.
Yeah.
She just came from Orange Theory.
Yeah.
So she stopped by in her Bentley and, she wanted that house. Well, he just bought it. So we got it from for $4 million. He turns around and says, yeah, I'll sell it to you for $5 million. And then she backs off, right? And then we don't hear from her. And then, unfortunately, he passed away in a helicopter crash. And guess who comes around?
Guess who comes sniffing around? She tried to kill her husband with cancer, but now she's killed a guy with a helicopter.
So the weird thing is her ex-husband lives like 2 blocks away. He bought a house first. That was like a modern farmhouse for like $2 million. It was in Costa Mesa, but literally 2 blocks away from this house. So she decided to put in an offer for 4.5.
Right.
The widow of my client, she wanted to sell. She didn't need to live in that house anymore. So we opened escrow at 4.5, and it was just a nightmare transaction because she used an agent, which is super weird. She used an agent. She has a real estate license, and actually, her license is in my office in Newport, or it was as of this time that it happened. So she could have done the deal herself.
Hold on. She was one of the people out of your office?
Yeah, so she has her real estate license, but we got an email around saying like, oh, Christina Mosa joins first team in Newport like a year ago. And then this happens and she's using an agent from a different broker. So we're like, what the hell is she doing? But I think it was a friend of hers. So we opened escrow And right off the bat, it was, she wanted to come at like a Saturday night at like 9:00 to like look at furniture. And then she'd be late, and her agent would call me saying, her flight's delayed. And I'm like, it's not Obama. Like, who cares?
Right,
like,
yeah.
No, it's not. She's not going to come. And everybody on the buyer side just treated her like, she's like amazing.
Right.
But on my side, I like my responsibilities for my client, this widow who just wants the money. Like, she doesn't give a shit.
She wants to
about
get rid of the house.
show.
She wants to move on from her
Yes.
life. She'd like to heal.
She doesn't care.
Yeah.
And so we were, she didn't know where she was going to move either. She didn't know if she was going to buy something, rent something. My client was super stressed. And then, then I hear, oh, well, they sold their house. Now she's in a rental. We're really pushing to close early. And I'm like, okay, let's stick to the contract. Like, everything is just, you can't argue with stuff. And so it just turned out to be horrible. And then at the end of the day, she backed out like 1 week before we were supposed to close. She just called the whole thing off.
Hold on,
And
she didn't buy the house?
Oh, she did, but
Oh.
I'm freaking out, and I'm calling, my broker, and I'm calling everybody, and she comes back and she's like, okay, I'll buy it for 4.1. So 400 grand hit. So then we're back and the thing sells for 4.1. And she said, there was a lot, she didn't have the money to renovate all of it that she wanted to do. So that's why she offered 4.1. And then she moves in, and then she guts the place, and she guts the whole backyard. And it was already like a remodeled house, beautiful. And yeah, it was not fun.
So she pulls it out. Do people do that a lot, where they just just try to get it down?
Not in my experience. It's they don't completely back out. She was like, she had sent something over to cancel the deal. My last deal, these people were like testing me and saying, okay, we'll back out if you don't come down $10,000. And I said,
And you're
okay,
like, we
great.
just got fucked for 400,000. We don't give a shit about
I'm like,
10,000.
okay, fine,
Yeah.
great, thank you. And then I hung up, and then an hour later they called. Oh, they changed their mind. So that happens a lot, but not $400,000,
Right.
on a 4.5 house where we know that we bought it for our client for 400 grand, and now we're just making up the commission difference, and our commission was lowered. So you're not even making the money back that you bought it for like 5 months ago. So that rarely happens. And then the day that it closed, my client, that was a nightmare, because no one ever shows up at that 5 p.m. In the contract, it always says, close of escrow by 5 p.m.
Right.
You turn over the keys and stuff. That never happens. The agents always work together and say, like, hey, I'll give you the keys here. I'll meet you here. At 5 o'clock, I get a phone call saying she's on her way to the house, or the keys there. My client, the widow, calls me saying, I'm moving motorcycles. My husband's motorcycles. I don't know how I'm going to get them out. I'm still here. And I'm like, okay, calm down. They're not going to.
Right.
The house is closed, but whatever. And that lasted for 4 hours of her still moving stuff out, which, was a nightmare on my end, because there's nothing I can do.
Right.
It's embarrassing that she wasn't out in time. But then, Christina kept like circling the place, and she finally got in at 9 p.m. that night. But it was
That's about the time she likes to do things anyways, according to her plans of seeing the place. So that's
yeah.
So to my listeners, don't be a dick. When you buy the house, you're going to live in it a long time. That 4 hours, people get stressed when they're moving into places. Everybody's stressed on either side. Take a breath. If you know your agent, it's going to be much easier. Talk with them. If you get the price that you want, maybe take another breath and go, okay, we're going to get there. It might be midnight when we move in, but that goes back to before, having that extra time for the place you're living at while buying a house. So everybody just calm down, make life easier for everybody. Question. So you get the commission from who on that sale?
So it's always from the seller side. So,
It's always from the seller.
Yeah. So for $4 million, the seller, the widow, would pay my part, and then the buyer's side, which is Christina's side. But usually at that price point, anything over a couple million, my experience has been the clients are always like, okay, this is a large sum, and you're doing the same job as you're doing for like a $500,000 house.
Right.
When it comes time to negotiating or repair requests, you always cut them a break on the commission, or you just take a hit.
Right.
And for me, I mean, it's a lot of money, so I don't mind doing that. However, it's just it's strange that price point. You know, they are.
That's when they get cheaper.
But,
Yeah. That's closing costs. When somebody says we'll cover the closing costs on something.
Yes.
What does it mean? But why is that such a big deal? Like, to people, I notice on all the shows I watch and some of the things that I've learned, the closing costs is a big deal to everybody.
It's I don't get it. It's the same thing as, like, you know, I'll pay cash for it, because at the end of the day, you're getting a check.
Right.
It's not like you're getting a safe with cash.
I know. Whenever they say cash, I get so mad. I'm like, there should be a big lump of saran wrap cash in the driveway, right?
The counter.
Yeah.
No. So literally, when people say cover your closing costs, it's exactly the same thing as, okay, I'll take a hit on my commission. I won't get 2.5%. I'll get 2%, right? Because that 0.5% is several $1,000s, and that's usually the closing cost. So it's like you come off as like, oh, I'm getting this commission for the normal 2.5% commission. Maybe something comes up. Maybe the clients are iffy about you. You go, hey, I'll cover closing costs. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. Great. You're amazing. Right. But it's basically the same thing as, you know, just taking a hit on your commission. But yeah, that's the escrow, title fees at the end of the transaction that all get deducted out from, like, the payoff amount for everything. So it's not like I'm putting in my money. I'm just getting less commission back at the end of the day.
Why is it so much harder to get a bank loan for a house than, I know it's a bigger amount, but when you get a Best Buy card, they want to check where you've lived and for the next couple of years. I just think it would be easier to get a house where they know where you're going to be living. You know what I mean? It doesn't make sense. It seems like there should be some sort of sliding scale where, oh, he's going to be there. We know where he's going to be. He's getting that house. So
I've never actually thought about that.
It frustrates. It frustrates me like you wouldn't believe. Do you have your own?
You get a lot of Best Buy cards?
You know what? Best Buy drives me insane. I love Best Buy, and I try to not use my Best Buy card, but they just give you, oh, it's gonna next thing you know, I got another gigantic TV for no apparent reason, a PlayStation, and blah blah blah. But I and they keep changing. They change. What drives me mad about the Best Buy card? They've changed banks that they work with 4 times while I've had a Best Buy card. I'm like, I'm not allowed to just switch up my credit card like that. Come on, guys, just pick up. Anyways, I don't know what I'm complaining about that. Have you ever caught anybody having sex in a house while you're showing it?
So in North Hollywood, good old North Hollywood, I drove like 2 hours to show a property there. It was a condo. They knew I was coming. I talked to the agent. The agent said there was a lockbox. I had my lockbox key thing. I go there. I always knock, especially now. I always knock and ring the doorbell. No one answered. It's just a condo. I mean, it's not a mansion or anything.
Right.
I wait a few minutes. I walk in. It's a 1-car garage, and there's a car in it. I'm like, okay, a little weird, but whatever. And I say, hello, you know, nothing. I go upstairs, and it wasn't a couple. It was just a man.
By himself?
Yeah, having sex by himself. And the funny thing was,
it must have been priced to sell. That's what I'm saying. This is fantastic.
He was laying on the ground with his laptop, and he didn't jump up. I was expecting him to jump up, you know.
Well, hello, Scott. That's what he said.
He didn't.
He didn't jump.
No.
Who was he?
He lived there. He was the owner of the house.
Oh, so in my head, I'm picturing it empty, like no furniture.
Oh no.
Just
sorry.
Just like the maintenance man going upstairs. Oh, this looks like a good place. Don't whack it.
No, it was the owner
to trim some up.
And then he didn't jump up, and then he was like, okay, well, I'm gonna take a shower. You can keep looking at the house, and we're like, oh, we're out of here.
I'm gonna take a shower. Look, I gotta
and
get
then another couple came in as we left, and I was like, do I tell them or not?
No, you don't tell them.
I just left.
What's the big thing what's the big what's the new thing in houses that makes people buy something? Like when you walk in and there's you have this? Yeah, we want this
place.
Like
the wow factor.
Yeah, I guess that's what it is, but it's the ooh wow.
It's probably, I mean, it's always been kind of the kitchen, and the kitchen still is pretty big on people's lists. You know, people walk in houses now because they watch all these shows and assume that there's going to be a wine fridge, a warming drawer. So I'd say that's like the first thing that people look at. Also, the outside space. A lot of new builders now, have these Californian rooms, which are just enclosed patios, and that's their whole backyard. So it's rare to find a big yard anymore. So I believe people want big backyards still. So I would say the backyard and the kitchen for sure.
Nice. Energy wise, do people look for solar power? Is that a selling point?
So I had 2 solar panel deals. Both of them were leased, which, you put that on MLS when you're selling a house. Like, these are leased, they're not purchased, meaning you have to assume the lease.
Right.
Well, depending on the solar power company, that could be easier. That could be a pain in the ass. Me personally, I wouldn't buy a house with solar panels because you don't know what the technology is going to be like in 5 to 10 years, and you're signing these contracts for 20.
Right.
So to me, I wouldn't. However, if you use a lot of electricity and it looks like a good deal, then I would. So this last house I just sold had solar panels. It was 50-50. People would walk in and say, oh, they're leased, and then peace out.
Right.
And then people are like, oh, solar panel. Well, what's the monthly? What company is? Are they Tesla? Yeah, I have a Tesla. Great. And that's the person that bought the house was impressed because they're Tesla panels.
Were they the shingle kind of things?
No, not the nice ones.
No, just
they
a
were
big chunk
Tesla
on
makes like old school ones.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Chris, do we have any questions for Scott before we get going? Because I'm going to ask him a couple more questions, and then we're going to get flying out of here. Let him have his day, go out and sell the houses, take down some more people from reality TV because he's got that reality. I don't know how much. I didn't know she had $4 million to actually buy for a house.
Well, I'm not going to go into her financials, but yeah, it was not a cash offer.
It was not a cash offer, and she needed to get down to 4.1, and she's probably sold it for 4.5, trying to make herself $400,000. Tell people where they can get a hold of you to if they want. And by the way, I know you're in Newport, but you do all of California or just Southern California?
Well, not all of California, but Southern California, LA, OC, Inland Empire. You can find me on Instagram. My name is Scott, and the last name is Cappelli, Cappelli. Or you can go to my website. It's www.buysellDonate.org because I donate a part of my commission to a Cancer College scholarship that I run at Cal State Fullerton.
Tell us more about this before we get going.
So my best friend brother passed away from brain cancer in 2016, and he graduated Cal State Fullerton in 2014 and with me. And Cancer for College, it's run by Will Ferrell's best friend. And they give $5,000 a year to cancer survivors attending college. So I'm in charge. His name is Frank, so I run the Frank the Tank scholarship at Cal State Fullerton. So every year we give out $5,000 to a cancer survivor or someone currently battling. So, and that all comes from my commission. So I take part of my commission and put it towards that.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. That's a nice thing to do. There's nothing you can never go wrong by doing that. You're helping somebody out, and people are going to run into those situations along the line. As we get older, we find more people with problems, and if you have a chance to help somebody out with what you do, and if you love it, you got to give a little bit. So yeah. Chris, any questions?
No, not really. There's mostly just like people were saying they have had one guy, Michael Bednarek. I'm dealing with a high maintenance buyer right now, and then what a PETA. I don't know what that means.
What a piece of shit.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what I mean. So he's dealing with a high maintenance buyer. What any suggestions for a seller that is dealing with a high maintenance buyer? Anything that before we get going?
Well, I mean, it's really not this. It's it shouldn't be any transaction. Really shouldn't be stressful for the buyers and sellers. It's stressful for me. I take everything personally. So my job is not to have the seller stressed. So really, I mean, it's the agents aren't, communicating well. I find that honestly, I try to be friends with the other agent right off the bat, and have a good communication. I follow up everything in writing because of course they like to say stuff on the phone and then, you're screwed. So I follow up every conversation in writing, what we just talked about. But I've learned that, just getting good communication with the other agent makes a smooth transaction.
Nice. And
not like Christina most of the time.
Right. And if you are having a stressful time, you basically have a not very good agent, right? If it's coming back to you. So,
yeah, it's really not like, brain surgery or anything. It's simple. You don't need a college degree to do this job.
Ooh,
you have to have,
just threw yourself under the bus there.
But yeah, I take everything personally. I work really hard and to avoid stressing my buyer or seller out.
So let people know, get yourself a good real estate agent, talk with them for a while, make sure that they're gonna deal with it for you. Make sure you have extra time on leeway for when the closing happens. Don't be freaked out by words like "we're gonna cover the cost." Know what your house is worth. Know what your house is worth. That is one thing. And don't fall for these TV shows. They are, at the end of the day, TV shows that everybody needs to. And if they want to get a hold of you, one more time.
Instagram, Scott Capelli, Cappelli, or go to buysell.donate.org.
Nice. Thank you, Scott, for dropping by. Ian Bagg bought a house. And next time, I'll be buying a house in Southern California, so get ready for a pain-in-the-ass client. Boom, boom, ba-doom, boom, boom, boom. Have a great day, bro.
All right, you too. Bye.
Oh, that was nice. I like it. Go see Scott. If you're buying or selling a house, go see Scott and give some of the money back to he donates to it. That's great. I love that. I love that people don't have to have all their money. Like, too many people, right, Chris? Just fucking... They just take their money and just...
Yeah.
There's my big thing with companies now is that we need to be $1 billion company within 5 years, not 10. You know what I mean? If you can pay your employees a little bit more, and it takes you 10 years to be $1 billion company, and you have better employees. You pay people. You just make people... Like, at the end of the day, quality of life, right?
Yes.
And 500 million, you're going to have a pretty good quality of life, right?
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, fuck, I'm right. Any questions from the people? Anything that I should know about before we get going?
One last thing. Well, a lot of people were saying hello. I'm sorry if I missed that. But James Coberly, it's incredibly hard to become an agent. I have a master's degree and didn't have the patience to read all the stuff in the way of real estate exam. I got like halfway and gave up.
Well, that's... James, I'm not being a dick. I know you have a master's degree, but it's being able to be interested in that area. You may be a doctor, but if you're not interested in real estate, you're not going to get through that reading. Whereas I'm not going to get through getting through the reading to be a doctor. It all depends. I would always hire somebody that's passionate about a career over somebody that just happens to do a lot of business but kind of hates it. You can tell from a person. You can tell when you meet them whether they think they should be doing something else, Like Chris has that attitude.
Yes.
You think you should be hosting, not producing. You're like, this is bullshit.
I thought you meant I like producing. I like doing everything.
That you had a good attitude? No, I think you got a bad attitude, Chris. I gave Chris a shirt. Let's see. Coming up this week, Nyack, New York. Next week, I'll be in Lake Chelan, Washington. The week after that, I will be in Ontario, California. Tonight, I will be at El Cid doing Who's the Ross talk show. I'll be a guest on a talk show. I used to do back in 2004 to 2008. I did a live talk show from Hermosa Beach and from the Friars Club. It was called the Ian Bagg Show. And there's a guy doing kind of the same thing, but it's online. And it's called Who's the Ross? And he talked to me, and I was like, I'd love to be a guest. So I'm going to do his show. I think he's got a band performing tonight, and also a guy that's a, what do they call it? A trainer, a personal trainer is coming in to talk. So I'm looking forward to that. It was a lot of fun. I used to do that with Brian Irwin, used to help me out. Pat Keene. Who else used to do that? Oh, there was a couple. Joe Bartnick used to write on it. Andrew, why am I blanking on Andrew's name? Andrew Wantock, who is now one of the producers on Comedy Central. We used to just fool around and do this stupid thing. We didn't know anything any better. And Comedy Central was looking at it, and then they picked Daniel Tosh. E Entertainment was looking at it, and then they picked Chelsea Handler. So, as you know, I've always been second place, except for with my wife. I'm first place. But that's not true. She also was going to marry this other guy, and then I came into her life, and then I was second place too. I was second place too. Thank God he dumped her, so I got her. Now I'll probably get beaten when I get home for that. You get in your room, and you don't come out of there until you apologize. That is not how my wife talks. She talks like this. And then she puts a country accent on it. So, let me know who you want for guests on the show. If you know somebody, I'm looking to talk to a plumber. If anybody wants to know, I'm looking for a plumber to talk to. I'm looking for a flooring person. I'm looking for, what else am I looking for? I'm looking for an electrician. I'm looking for everything. If you got something to do with the housing community, with just putting things into a house, building a house. I actually have a guy that designs houses that's going to be coming on the show. So
and like an architect?
Yeah, an architect, but he works for a company, and he's going to come on and discuss out of Florida. So he will have lots of information for us about hurricanes.
There's an architect firm next to us.
Those guys are always pooping in the bathroom.
They're always taking note. Yeah, I don't trust them.
I don't trust those guys either. I call them the deucers. Deucers housing and such.
I know a really good cabinet guy that does kitchen cabinets.
Let's have him on. Yeah, I'd love to talk to him about cabinets. So also make sure you check in for Ian's Lunch Friday. I do that on Facebook as well. I'm going to start doing something on Instagram just called Ian, because that's how I think about myself. Ian. Anyways, thank you for everybody for tuning in. We're going to check out now. Have a great day. Facebook, thanks for giving us this platform to be dicks on. Boom, boom, boom. Bought a house. Everybody, a show about me, Ian Bagg, buying a house on the eastern shore of Virginia, where my wife grew up. We bought a house so my mother-in-law can live in it, and we can go there whenever we feel like it and have a family vacation home. And we are building that house up to being a mansion family home. And I know nothing about housing. And if you tune in every week, you will learn that I do know nothing about housing and how to build things and contract and purchasing things and hiring people. You've seen me buy doors that don't fit. You've seen me buy windows that are not right. Casement is what I need, not the other kind. So I went through that again this week. And this week I have Bruce Clark all the way from California via Winnipeg, Manitoba, home of the Winnipeg Jets. I'm going to talk to Bruce in a second here, but we're going to talk to Renee and Chris. Check in on their week, check in on my week as I just got back from Buffalo. Renee just said to me before I came on the show, he said, Ian, did you know there's a Canadian character in the new Toy Story movie? And I said, yes, that is Keanu Reeves. Our king of acting. He is in everything, and he is fantastic. He plays I think he plays what does he play, Renee?
He's like a daredevil type of guy.
Yes. Captain Canuck. Is he Captain Canuck?
I don't know what his name is.
He's something like that, and it's good because
he's like an evil Knievel.
Yes. But finally, somebody has given him a shot at being in a film. So that's good. He really needed that. I, on the other hand, was sent to Buffalo to do 5 shows for over 150 people. And yes, 150 people, including the whole weekend. My first night there, my plane was late. I arrived at 8 o'clock. The show started at 8 o'clock. So I went on stage as I got off the plane. We went right onto stage. The second night I was there, boom, Kids on the Block. What are they called? New Kids on the Block?
You know what they're called.
No, what are they called? Are they called New Kids on the Block?
The New Kids on the
New
Block.
Kids on the Block. They were there, and oh my God, I don't know if you enjoy middle-aged women with their moms, but that is the people that go see those New Kids on the Block, and they were all over because where I was playing is right next to the Key Bank Center Arena. and that's where New Kids on the Block were playing. So they just parked in our parking lot and walked through our parking lot right by the show and into the Key Arena and did not see me. But oh my goodness, I seen some 40-year-old women with the tightest pants on I've ever seen in my life, and it was fantastic to see. So there you go.
Just Justin Campbell says, "Hey from Calgary."
Hey, got Canadians on today. Hey, Justin Campbell.
Brittany Buffum, she said, "Come back to Syracuse."
Okay, yep. She says that every time. I say no every time.
And Brenda Barron Polchian says, "Hi, Ian."
Hi, Brenda Barron Polchian.
Duke Kaboom was the character's name. Toy Story.
Duke Kaboom. Hey, Renee, you've been married for a while.
Yes.
I went through a new thing with my wife this week. I hit a new level. So I hurt my butthole last week. I hurt my butthole.
I see where this is going, and I like it.
Well, my wife was like, "Well, do you want me to look at your butthole?" I said, "No." And then she said, "Well, go look at it yourself in the mirror in the bathroom." And I fell for it. I thought she was being serious, and she wasn't. She totally, because she wasn't going to look at it, and she tricked me into looking at my own.
Did you fall down?
I did not fall down, but I was up on a bench. She said, "Did you actually do that?" And I said, "Yes," because it was sore because I hurt myself, and it turned out to be nothing. But I hit a new level of not being able to trust my wife, and seeing things that I'd never seen on my body before.
Did you see more of a wink or a smile?
It was surprised. Ooh. That's what it looked like. It looked very surprised. Ooh. Don't fall on that again. Ooh. Anyway, so that's what it was. I got to mention that I did a show in San Diego this week at American Comedy Company, and it was for the Humane Society of San Diego, and we had 150 people come out to a room that holds 200 people, and we were able to raise $3,000 in one night for the Humane Society of San Diego. They do a big thing there. They have a huge rehabilitation center for dogs that aren't usually rehabilitated, that have problems, and they actually end up putting them down. But in San Diego, they have this center where they rehabilitate these dogs and are able to be adopted and turn out to be great pets. So if you're looking for a pet, go to your local Humane Society. They're all over America and Canada, but none of them are connected. But if you want to get in touch with the Humane Society of San Diego, they have a lot of dogs down there. And the reason I know them is because Shauna used to work for Long Beach Humane Society, and she's now down there, and she's the one that asked me to do the show. And Shauna, we know because she trained Lou into being a fantastic dog, and we love him. This week coming up, I'm headed off to Pittsburgh on Thursday. I will be there Friday and Saturday. One night I'll be at the Improv, and one night I'll be at the PPG Paints arena with Bill Burr and Billy Gardell. So come out and see us at the DVE Comedy Festival. If you like comedy and you like Ian Bagg, come out and see me. Tonight I will be in Las Vegas at the Jimmy Kimmel Club. I will be there for the Las Vegas Convention Center meeting. I don't know if it's open to the public. All I know is I have to wear a jacket. So I'm leaving from here. Boom. Let's get to the show. Chris, is there any way you can change the camera if you can see it so I can see Bruce? I don't know if you can see what it looks like here, but I need to change it. Yeah. I need to change it. We got troubles. Can you see that? Boom.
Oh, it switched over.
It's switched over. This is a very professional show. Everybody's out to take a look at it. If you're listening on iTunes right now, it's very exciting. Both Renee and Chris are up looking at the camera, not the screen that I see, and I just see myself and no Bruce, and I want to be able to see Bruce while I ask him questions, and he squints. Ian, you're just a dummy. Don't turn him off. It's very exciting. I had a guy yell at me this week too, by the way. I love this one. This is my favorite thing that happened to me this week. I was crossing the street and I wasn't walking fast enough for him. And he said, "Come on, bitch tits, get out of the way." Made me laugh so hard. I lost my shit. So are we going to ever see Bruce? Is this a deal, or should I start talking to him right now? We've run into technical problems. I can hear you, Bruce. Can they hear Bruce?
Yes, we can hear.
Everybody can hear Bruce. Bruce Clark, welcome to the show. Stand up. I've known Bruce probably since I started, maybe a year or two after I started. I think you were living in Toronto at the time when I met you. Would that be right? No way.
They're really funny. And I said, wow. I said to you after, I said, wow, I said, how long you do? Oh, it's like my first time. I said, really? And I said, that's great. And you obviously took off and you're very talented. So yeah, I remember that. Do you not remember that? Maybe not.
I don't remember that. That's so sweet.
First
Do you know
time I tried with Yucks down and right?
Yeah. Down at the Plaza Nations.
Yep.
You know why what I remember about that first night? I remember who else was there. Craig Campbell was there.
Yeah.
Bonnie McFarlane was there.
Okay, maybe it wasn't your first. It was like your third. It was like one of your first times. Anyway, it was like maybe your second or third. Yeah, it was good.
I love that. The big thing about Yuck Yucks that helped me out in going on there was it was around, like, it may have been on 5 times, and Pat Bullard was headlining, and he came up to me afterwards and he said, I'm going to give you some advice. And I said, what's that? He said, do everything you can to get out of Canada. Promise me you'll leave here.
Yeah.
And I was just a Canadian kid, and I have no clue why. I'm like, why? And he goes, just do it. I'm like, okay. I gotta get out of here. And that was my next thing. I gotta get out of Canada. How long have you been gone from Canada?
Oh, I moved here in '93.
And you didn't go into contracting right away.
I moved '93, and then in like '95, I did the Tonight Show with Leno, and then I did all those shows, and then I got jobs writing for TV.
I remember that. I remember you writing on all the television shows. Everybody's very proud of you.
Shows, yeah. It was, yeah. So then, as I got a little older, and I just got tired of the road and all that, and it wasn't making as much money. I just fell into. We bought a house here in Palm Springs, and I remodeled it myself. I found guys to do certain jobs, but I didn't want to work myself. And that was like 1999. We bought it, and then I got a job writing on a show in Canada for a year, and then came back, and I had enough money to remodel this thing. So like in 2000, we remodeled it. We paid $180 for it, and I remodeled it. Probably put about $180 into it, and 4 years later, we sold it for $800,000.
Nice.
So it was like, oh, okay, I can do this.
I can do this. Hey, we have to do. I told you we're having problems. We have to call you right back. Apparently, we've lost your video, so we're calling you right back. And we've already hung up on it before I told him. That's how it works in this show. You made that much money off a house? Well, fuck you. We just hang up on you. That's how it works. Oh, it's his? Can they hear this, or is it just silent? We're calling Bruce. We're calling Bruce. We're calling Bruce. Hello, Bruce. We're back. Okay, we lost you there. Now, so we got to the point where you sold the house for $800,000, and that's why we hung up on you. We don't like people making that kind of profit on this kind of show.
Because you're Canadian, you think it's some kind of capitalist endeavor.
How dare you?
Canadians.
How dare you? Did you share it with everybody else? No. So
anyway, and then I was still doing stand up, and then I actually worked on. I was the head writer on the Caroline Ray show in New York. So it was just after 9/11 actually.
Right.
So, and then I did that for a while, and then I had a few jobs, and then it kind of petered out. And then my neighbor asked me if I could remodel his house, but legally you can't do it because in California there's very strict contractor laws.
Right.
But we did it. He did it as owner builder, and I helped him out and we did it. And then eventually we bought a couple other houses and flipped them, and then I got my contractor's license, and then I built a $2.5 million house last year that's for sale. And I'm building another one for a client, and it just sort of snowballed. I'm Canadian. I'm from the prairie, so I have that work ethic.
Right.
And I was also taught to do it right and don't screw people over. So if you're honest and you do a good job and you show up, you can get a lot of work.
That's great. Did you fall in love with it right away, or did you already have that passion for construction from growing up in the prairies?
Well, my mother tells me that my father always shook his head and thought that kid's an idiot. He'll never be able to do anything. Because I didn't want to, like, my dad was a sheet metal worker for the railway. We were working class, and then on the weekends he would go hang gutters, which we call eavesdroff up there,
Right.
and install furnaces, anything metal. And he would make me and my brother, when we were like 6, go help him.
Right.
So we were like 6 years old. He'd like go crawl into the house and pull that wire here, and So that's how we kind of learned. But when I got a little older, I didn't really, I had more of an artistic side. I didn't really want to do that.
Right.
So my parents thought I was a goner. But then when I started doing it, it's a creative thing too. So I really enjoy the process from start to finish.
That's one of the biggest things that I've learned about buying this house. It is a creative process, and it makes your mind work in a similar way when you're coming up with ideas for stuff. So I think that's the reason that made me fall in love with this as I bought this house, because before I bought the house, I didn't appreciate it. But now learning how to change things and make your idea become reality is much like stand-up to me.
Yes, and then problem solving too is like when you're on stage, as and it's not going well, you got to shift gears.
Right.
It's tantamount to, like right now I'm remodeling this guy's house. I'm putting a huge roof over his patio and an outdoor kitchen. Well, we opened it all up, and it was like there was a lot of stuff we had to change from the plans because it didn't fit, and there was existing things. So it's just at first you panic because you think, oh no,
Right.
But then you go, okay, I got to figure this out. We got to problem solve. So it's all creative, and even the artistic side of it, the finishes, the tiles and the colors and the countertops and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I think I have pretty good taste, but I always have a designer or somebody help with those choices,
right?
Because I don't want to. It's a lot of work. I don't want to be bothered with that. But yeah, and it's.
My wife has the final say on everything, and she has that talent. But I have that talent where I kind of direct things and make my cartoon mind. I show her my cartoon mind, and then we can bring it back to reality. What is your expertise exactly? Like, I know you're a general contractor, but is there something that really stands out to you?
Well, I sort of, because it's Palm Springs, I've done a lot of mid-century and contemporary type homes,
Mm-hmm.
flat roofs and sleek lines and things like that. So that's what I like to work on. But right now I'm doing a Spanish house, but my skill set in this is organizing people. Like, it'd be like a producer in television, knowing which actor goes well with this part. Like I have 6 of my own employees, and then I have a whole bunch of subs that I tap into.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to know who works well with certain people, what their skill sets are. Because my electrician is also a really great landscaper, and my plumber can do demo, and my other guy can do. They have different skill sets. So you can as the GC, you have to be able to apply that to every job, and that makes it go smoother and faster, and it's more cost effective.
That's great. When you walk into somebody's house, do you notice problems right away? Do you and if you do notice problems right away, do you say anything, or do you have to bite your tongue?
Like, what kind of problems?
Say you walked into my house and you noticed that my floors were a little bit uneven. Would you mention it to me right away?
Well, of course, yeah. I'd say, hey, look, are you going to address this? Because you don't have to, but like I remodeled my brother's house in Los Angeles a few years ago, and they had and their floor really swayed, but to fix it would have cost a lot of money. We just figured out how to put the new flooring down and make it a little better. But yeah, I would say something. Yeah,
you would say something. So I was curious. And have you ever had much like when you have a friend write a script and they ask you to read it,
my script,
and then you give them notes. Sometimes they don't appreciate those notes. Have you had somebody ask you to look at their house and not enjoyed what you've said about it?
Well, I have one of my friends in Chicago who's a designer too. His line is always, "Well, you must like it."
Oh, that's funny.
But no, I'm just honest, and most people appreciate you when you're honest. I think and I've never come across, most of the people I encounter are people that are doing pretty major renovations.
Mm-hmm.
So, but these two, and Palm Springs is like 90% gay men. I'm like one of the only straight guys around. But
they must love that. You must like it.
I love it. So so I have these two clients. And most of them become pretty friendly, and they'll call me and say, "Hey, do you know a guy that can do this?" And I'll just give them information. I don't need to charge them more money as a contractor. But there's two guys and he was showing me all the things that he wanted to do. And I said, Ken, I said, I don't think these things kind of go together. I was trying to explain to him, and he wanted to put glitter in the grout for the tile. And I said, really, on the whole thing? He said, well, not the whole thing, just the little backsplash. I said, okay. I said, I know you're gay, but you're not that gay. And he laughed. We got along. But, I'll give him my opinion. I always say, look, it's your house. You're living in it.
Right.
But this is what I think. Take it or leave it,
Mm-hmm.
As far as finishes go, construction-wise, it has to be done a certain way. It has to be built to the codes and standards and all that. So you can't get away with, if the guy says, let's put a smaller header so I can put a bigger door in, well, you can't. You just can't.
Right.
So,
I know you have a house still in the Winnipeg area.
Yes.
Is there codes that you notice that are different from Canada to California?
California, it's crazy here. So because of the earthquakes, all the structural, for instance, I'm putting a roof over right now on this patio area that's going to become an outdoor kitchen for these guys.
Mm-hmm.
So there's two steel posts, and they're buried in a footing. And believe it or not, the footing is 4 feet wide by 4 feet wide by 5 feet deep, full of concrete.
Oh, man.
There's like 5 yards of concrete in these two footings, and that's all for shear strength. So the posts stay, stiff.
Yes. Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, they're totally different. California codes are totally different.
If you were to do that in Winnipeg, what would you be able to? How would you be able to get away with it? Maybe just about a foot by foot.
Yeah, it would be like, Winnipeg, you have to get below the frost line, but it would nowhere near. First of all, it wouldn't be steel.
Right.
It wouldn't be a steel post, to be a wood post, and there'd be a little hold down, but that's it. Yeah, no, it's crazy. It's very expensive.
As far as insulation up there compared to down here, is it a different code coming to insulate something?
The only difference is you don't use vapor barrier here.
Mm-hmm.
So because there's no hot and cold meeting and creating condensation. So, but they have a thing in California called a Title 24, and that's all your energy codes.
Mm-hmm.
So everything that goes in the house, the insulation, the kind of doors and windows, the kind of furnace you have, the kind of air conditioner, all that goes in, and they do a calculation to make sure it meets a certain standard. But yeah, because of the heat here, you need to have good insulation because it's 110, 115 degrees in the summer. You have to.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
I am going to ask you a couple questions about my house. Right now,
Sure.
I am looking at two jobs. I'm looking at getting the floor done. We're putting in some sort of wood type flooring. What would be your go-to place for wood flooring purchasing to go pick a style and a material?
I mean, if you're going to pick, you don't have to buy it there, but I think there's a flooring, there's a national chain of wood flooring. What's it called? It's pretty popular. What's the name of it? I can't remember.
Lumber Liquidators?
Lumber Liquidators.
Okay.
So I wouldn't, when they have sales, you can really get good sales. But you can check their products out because they have a vast array. But I would check out a local, if there's a local store that you can work with and get a price from them, because Lumber Liquidators is you're not going to get the same service.
Right.
But yeah, so if you need a little extra or something,
So you would go with a local company just for the extra service and the extra.
Well, I'd give them a chance because if their prices might be, even if their price is a little bit higher, I think it's worth it to give them the business and also, just like I say, for the service, and they're going to be really knowledgeable about the product. Whereas Lumber Liquidators, they're just hiring some guy usually, and he doesn't know anything about how it's supposed to be installed, or so usually.
So question: you think that the local place will actually do the work rather than sub it out like a national company would?
Some might have an installer on staff, and they might be able to give you an installed price too.
Would you try to stick with the company that has the installer on staff?
If do your due diligence and find out what the reputation is, but yeah, because if then it's first of all, it's easier. You don't have to go hire a guy to install your floors, and that's always a crapshoot. And if he does work for that company, chances are he's really good at it. So, and faster. So, usually that's paid by the square foot when you install material like that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and it's got to be done right. And if you're installing wood floors, you got to make sure that you're using either a waterproof glue or you're putting something down to keep the moisture out. There's all kinds of things. Everything, people think everything's easy, but there's all kinds of things you need to know.
There's so many different, every time I think I've got something, there's 8 more questions that I learned that I need to ask. So the big thing that I've learned is when doing a job is to ask somebody like you, because you will make me ask more questions.
Yeah, and if I don't know, I say I don't know because I don't know everything, and I'll find out.
Right.
Because you really need, because there's certain glues that have waterproof in it, so you can use that, and then you don't have to have the expense of putting paper down or anything, or Schluter or whatever they use. So there's different tricks too. You can save money and still do the job properly.
Okay, thank you so much on that. I will actually. We're headed.
But as far as wood flooring goes, so your first, depending on what you're going to do not use laminate flooring. It's junk. Use either an engineered flooring, which is basically an engineered piece with real wood on top. And ask the people too if it can be refinished at any point, because in 10 years you want to refinish it. And some of them have enough thickness that you can refinish them at least once. So they sand them down, and you can change the color or whatever you want to do.
That's something I never even thought of.
Yeah, and then check your wood for your area. What woods are applicable to that area? You're in Virginia, right? West Virginia?
No, Eastern Shore of Virginia. Yes.
So you need West Virginia. No, you're not a coal miner. Sorry. Yeah. So you need to make sure that the wood you're using is proper for that area, because there's humidity and all the things that come into play. And always, whenever you put wood flooring down, it has to sit on your job site for at least several weeks so it can acclimatize to that area, because it shrinks or it can expand. So it has to sit there.
Like in the garage or actually in the house itself?
In the garage or in the house, wherever. Yeah.
I did not know that.
The people selling you that will know all that. They should know all that.
They'll have that information. I've just started looking at these, and my thing was to go with a company in that area. So we're headed out in a couple weeks. I said I want to go to at least 2 to 3 places and get to meet the people and choose from there. And I don't mind paying a little bit extra if the work's going to be done right, and I'm going to have somebody in my Rolodex forever. Yeah, and usually the rule of thumb is the cheapest guy you'd never want to use, because there's a reason he's cheap. And I'm not the cheapest. I'm maybe not the most expensive here, but it's done right. And if there's a problem, I come back and I fix it. That's a big thing. I think that's a great thing you just said, that I don't think we've ever said on this show, the cheapest is not the way to go. Never.
I've had lots of calls from people that, and the problem with the cheapest is a lot of times you'll start the job and the guy will disappear on you, or he'll get some money. And, you got to make sure you do your, get references, make sure that people tell usually the best way to find a contractor is find somebody who's had a lot of work done. And if he really likes the person, you're probably in pretty good shape.
Check out when you see somebody, say, who did that work for you?
Yeah. And ask the people, was he good? Was he timely? Does he show up when there's a problem?
Those are great questions. We're also putting in a fence. Would you go I was thinking, and this maybe you might change my mind here, I was thinking of just going to Lowe's and working with them, but I have to put no, you're already shaking your head. I haven't even told you what kind of fence. Never hire from Lowe's?
No, because what they do is they just sub it out, then they take a piece, so you're paying extra. So find a really good fence guy that builds fences and, hire him. That's what I would do, or her.
I have to put in a certain cast iron fence is the problem. It's because it's in a area that you have to match the other ones. So
yes, there must be people that do it, find out from your neighbors who did theirs, or, that's what I would do.
If you were, a question for you, and I know you haven't seen the property, how many gates would you put in a fence? It's a half-acre lot.
Right.
Would you put in a couple big areas where you can open up where a truck can drive through if you have work done? Would you?
Unless you're thinking you need to get a truck in there, but I'd have a gate on each side of the house for sure, and make sure the gate's 4 feet wide, because at 3 feet sometimes you can't get things through. 4 feet's much better. At least that's minimum. But if you're thinking of having an RV or something, then you got to rethink it.
Right.
Yeah.
The reason behind it was I was thinking in a year or two I'd like to put in a pool, so I just don't know if I but I'm guessing they'd probably.
So a pool, yeah, you need, it's easier. Like we dig them by hand sometimes here. It's a little more expensive, but it's much easier. You can get a bobcat in there and dig the hole. I don't know what kind of pools do they build there. Do they build gunite pools with,
yes,
like they steel and so yeah.
Yeah, Renee's got a question from the internet for you.
Sure.
Andy Gunnin responded with no Lowe's with 3 exclamation marks.
No. So somebody bought something from Lowe's and had it installed. That's what that means. Yes,
yeah,
no Lowe's.
What Lowe's does is they hire local guys, and then they'll, like, if you're at Lowe's and you need a door hung, they'll send the guy, and he probably knows what he's doing, but it's better to find a, because then what happens if something goes wrong? Now you got to call Lowe's. They're going to call you back. It's like, it doesn't work.
Also, if you hire somebody, the extra money you're saying, and also you're probably not getting the best, right? You're looking to try to get the best. It's really talented.
In my experience, the guys that work for Lowe's and Home Depot, usually when there's really a lull in construction, they get some decent people because they're looking for work. Like they'll actually have electricians working in their electrical department, but it just depends who, I pay the guy that hangs my doors, he charges me $50 an hour.
Right.
So the guy at Lowe's, they're probably paying him $20 an hour. Well, who's going to work for 20 or 50, right? I mean, you got to, right?
Right.
So
you got to make your choices smart.
Like if you don't know how it's supposed to be done, that's when you're really vulnerable. So you don't, like when the guy hangs his door, if you're watching him, if you don't know how a door is supposed to be hung, he could do the worst job and you wouldn't know.
Right.
So it's one of the things that's why you need to hire people that really know what they're doing.
Well, that's my biggest problem when I have somebody do something. Sometimes they'll just say things to me, and because they know that I don't know what I'm talking about, I'll just agree with them. I'm like, yeah. So they can completely lie to you. That's why I'm trying to learn all this stuff so I can, I do it right now. In our California place, I need to change some electrical outlets, and I wish to hell I could do it myself, but I know I can't.
Electrical is very easy. I mean, that's one of the things that a homeowner can do, actually, if you know.
Missing these fingers from electricity.
Yeah, no, you just turn the breaker off. It's simple. There's usually just a black wire and a white wire and a green wire if it's a newer house. It's very simple, but it's I'm not going to explain how it works because it's
right.
It might take time. But electrical is something that's easy that you can do yourself.
Do you think if I watch something on the internet like a YouTube video, I could change a couple of electrical outlets?
Yes, easily.
All right, we're gonna have you. We're gonna
make sure you turn the breaker off.
Make sure I turn the breaker off. I'm gonna have you back in a couple of weeks and a month, and I'm gonna have change those electrical things myself, and I will have a review from my wife on how they work.
Breaker off, and also buy a really cheap little tester that tells you if there's power or not. They're like $6, and then you put it in the box. For sure, there's no power. Then you can go to town. Just make sure the whites are with the whites and the blacks with the whites. It's like a segregated America. That's what you. But the electrical thing, you saying nothing, but reminds me of that scene in Mr. Mum where Martin Mull comes in and he's dating the Michael Keaton's ex-wife, and he's like renovating the house, and he goes, "Oh, what are you doing? Oh, you're doing some electrical. What do you got? 220?" And Michael Keaton's, "Yeah, 220, 221, whatever it takes."
Yes, well, that's exactly me right there. Renee, do we have another question from the internet before we're going to let Bruce go?
I'm trying to figure out what it means. It says, Joseph Gasparian. Is there laws in California for when and how much you pay contractors as the job goes on?
Yes.
Okay. There's the answer.
So there's not a law that says you can only charge so much, but there's a law that says when you sign the contract, you're only allowed to take 10% or $1,000, whichever is the most, and then after that, it's basically you're on your own. So that's the only law that governs payments and money. But the California State Licensing Board, which is the governing body of contractors, they have a pretty intense investigation team. So if someone really burns you, or you feel that you're being not looked after as you're supposed to be, you can call them. They'll do an investigation. But as far as how much, no, you can, if you go tell a guy it's $10,000 and it really is a $500 job, it's buyer beware still,
Okay. All right, one more question, and then we're going to let you go. When you do the work, do you have to hire some sort of permits to shut down the parking around the house or anything, or is that?
I've never had to do that because it's just the geography here. We don't have to do that. I mean, if you build a house, you have to put a fence around it with coverings. So I mean, it's for aesthetics and also for safety if you're doing a job. But no, I've never had to shut parking down or anything like that. I've had to ask people to move their cars when I was doing my brother's out of LA.
Right.
Because dumpster right in front of the house on the street. Every city's different. Some cities let you put it on the street. Some cities don't. But yeah, I've never had a real issue with that.
All right. And if people want to get a hold of you and they're in the Palm Springs area, how can they get a hold of you for your business?
Oh, well, it's Can-Am Developments is the name of the company, and just call me at 760-408-3827.
Nice. Love it. Thank you, Bruce, for dropping by. And I'd love to have you back on the show in a couple weeks, a month, and I'll let you know how my electrical changing goes.
Remember, don't put your tongue on the wire. That's the other secret.
And keep your whites with your whites and your blacks with your blacks.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks, Bruce. Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Oh, my goodness. We learned a lot there, my friends. I'm going to do some electricity. I'm going to do some electrical work. I'm going to get my fingers blown right off my body. No, got to turn off the breaker. That was what he said. My dad always said that. He'd always have me turn off the breaker. So
Jeffrey Paul said, just hold on. Just hold the wires in. You're all the electricity the house will need.
Jeffrey Paul thinks he's fantastic because he won the Stanley Cup a couple weeks ago and he's probably going to get a ring. That's why Jeffrey's all telling you'll be fine because he's still drunk from the Stanley Cup parade. By the way, I don't know if we can put this up, Chris. I'll send you a couple clips later. It's from the parade, the Stanley Cup parade. One of the guys falls off the float and one of the guys throws up in the car that he's on in the middle of the throat, in the middle of the float. He just pukes all over the car. And it looks like, even better, it looks like the Kennedy assassination. Because he's sitting on the back of the car like how Kennedy was.
Like a Zapruder film?
Oh, it's so funny. It looks like, and back and to the left, and back and to the left. We got to take a look at that. Hey, I know I started something a couple weeks ago and I've shown you guys, I'm looking around the room. I've shown you guys things that I've found for the house that I think are great. I would like you to send me what you think that I should know that I need for my house. So what you do, take a video or take a picture of it and give a description and just send it to Ian Bagg Bought a House on Facebook, and we will feature you in the show. We're going to do that, okay? I'm going to do a couple more minutes here, and then we're going to get out of here. We're going to take a couple questions because I've got to get on a plane to Las Vegas, Nevada, do a quick show out there.
Sarah Newberger liked Bruce. She said, Bruce is great. You should bring him back sometime. And she said a double gate is really handy.
A double gate.
Double gate.
So the double gate is the one that opens up, and then is that so you can fit a truck through, Sarah? I'm guessing. I just don't know. I don't want my terrifying part is that I've sealed the whole thing off, and now I have to tear it down to get something in there. So I think it needs to get a gate. So I will be looking for a fencing company. If my father-in-law is watching this, I'm looking for fencing, and I'm also looking for wood flooring place. And I've got to learn. I got to do some I got to do some investigating on what floors will be the best for the Virginia area. So if anybody's from out there, any more questions from the internets, the World Wide Web?
Here's a comment from PJ Law.
Fuck you, PJ. Sorry.
Check if the wires are live by touch on back of hand or knuckles.
I'm pretty sure I can say this again. Fuck you, PJ. What you do is you put them on the back of your knuckles, and if you fly across the room, that means that they're still on.
And he said if it's live, your hand will close to a fist anyway from the wire by not gripping it and killing you. So if it's away, that makes sense.
Oh, I like that's a PJ Law right there. What you got there? If the wires are live, they'll kill you. If the wires are live, you won't be. PJ Law. Thank you, PJ. Well, we're going to wrap it up. One more thing. What do I got? Anything else I need to say to you? How long have we been on this, Chris?
40.
40. We got to wrap it up. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I know we had some technical difficulties. Make sure you send me questions. Make sure you follow me on everything. Just follow me. Fucking make my career great, you sons of bitches, motherfuckers. I know I'm not supposed to say that. I'm supposed to say, hey, everybody, remember, Jesus is your friend. Oh, Renee's got another question.
So your response to Double Gate, she's like, it doesn't look much different, but it gives access to trucks and riding mowers, etc.
Boom. Done. Getting a double gate. Thank you, guys. Stay gold, pony boy. Todd Kearns, listen to Todd Kearns music, and also Ray Johnston. You can keep playing that. I'm just saying that over top of that. So just take me out. Just wanted to let them know where they can get the music. Ray Johnston at the beginning. Todd Kearns. And welcome to Ian Bagg Bought a House, a show about me, Ian Bagg, buying a house on the Virginia shore. Me and my wife bought it out there. My mother-in-law lives in it. And every week I come to you. We talk about things about buying a house and owning a house. Whether you already own the house or you're hoping to own the house, we teach you. Let me be your guide into making mistakes for you so you don't have to make them. This week, we've got Walter Reyes on the show. He's from a mortgage company called House of Loans. You're going to learn lots about mortgages from him. And meanwhile, Chris and Renee are here, and we're going to talk about my week as it happened. And everybody's looking at me right now. What are you wearing on your head, Ian Bagg? Well, I'm wearing a St. Louis Blues hat because the St. Louis Blues won the Stanley Cup. Your new Stanley Cup champions are the St. Louis Blues. And after the first round, when St. Louis beat Winnipeg, because I always wear a Winnipeg hat as well as some other hats, Chris Pinkerton from the big old from all the St. Louis Blues, he works there. He works with the I don't know exactly what it is. He works with radio and TV and all those guys. He's part of the team. You'll be getting a ring. He sent me a hat from them, and he said, Ian, you're now a St. Louis Blues fan. And I said to Chris, I'm not putting this hat on my head until you win the Stanley Cup, because I'm not going to be the one that gets jinxed, cursed for the Stanley Cup champion St. Louis Blues. And guess who didn't put that hat on until today? Because they're Stanley Cup champions. So congratulations to Chris Kerber. He's the voice of the St. Louis Blues, friends of mine. Also, David Perron, player, DP 57. Colton Parenko, good guy as well. All my friends that work for the St. Louis Blues and all my friends in St. Louis, what a great town. Congratulations, you are now Stanley Cup champions. It's time to get Brett Hull into rehab. Oh my God. I don't know if you've seen any of that, Renee.
I did not. Sorry, I'm liking people.
People are liking?
Sarah and Rachel Dix just joined.
Rachel Dix, join up. Thank you. Make sure you have your questions for after. Don't bring your questions in. Wait until after we have Walter on. And that's when we'll do your questions, when I tell you something that I say every house should have. Brett Hull played for the St. Louis Blues and a couple other teams. He is hammered throughout the playoffs. First of all, they have pictures of him putting his finger against the glass, telling the Boston Bruins to fuck off. And then he's drunk on the street waiting for the parade. He's just walking down in a pair of shorts and a dress shirt and a pair of slip-on shoes, yelling out when's the parade start. And then they have him singing Gloria at the parade downtown. It's just a mess. It's so sad. It's so funny, but at the same time, you're like, oh, that's what just before rehab looks like. So a lot of fun. So I hope he dries out. And guess who else won?
The Raptors.
The Raptors. That's right. I don't give a shit about basketball, but I enjoy it when Canadians get a bunch of people from different countries to come to Canada and win the championship. It was one of the best days to be a Canadian ever. We are now champions of America. I can't wait until the Toronto Raptors go to the White House to tell. Do they get to go to the White House?
I don't know. That's a good question.
That would be great. He'd flip out. This is why we need a wall. We need a wall. The Canadians are coming down here with their Americans and Europeans and winning the championships.
And somebody got
What?
shot.
Oh, somebody got shot in Canada. 4 people got shot. That's right, because it would only because of exchange. It would only been 2 people, but because it was in Canada, it was 4. Only with 2 bullets, though. Not a lot of people know that. Canadians are very orderly. They lined up and were shot. They were shot in a succession. Yeah, it was weird. It was just suddenly there was a shooting in Canada.
Did the term 2 birds with 1 stone come from Canada?
Yes, it did. And it was 2 ducks with 1 stone. That's how we started up there, because we don't have birds, we have ducks. We got a lot of ducks. Get your ducks in a row.
John Preston Monaghan said that the Raptors should not be allowed to go.
Oh, that's because he's a racist. And we're kind of joking and we're kind of not. Oh, yes. JP. I was in Omaha this week. World Series of college baseball was going on. And it was pretty exciting. All the teams were there. My shows still did fairly well. Sometimes when a big thing like that's going on in town, it can affect your numbers, but people still showed up. So I want to thank the people of Omaha for coming out and having a good time with me. We had such a good time. There was a guy there that played college football, and he won the Heisman. His name, Crouch. He played for the University of Nebraska at some point within the last 15 years. And he was sitting up front. He now sells playground equipment. And I harassed him the whole time I was on stage, and everybody's like gasping because I guess he's a local hero. And I'm like, you sell playground equipment? Did you even go to school?
He's their Al Bundy.
He's their Al Bundy. Yeah. He's their Al Bundy. And he had a good time, but I was laying into him. But at the end of the day, can you imagine winning the Heisman Trophy? Like any sort of trophy like that? What's the rest of life like if you don't play in the NFL?
OJ won one.
Oh, that's right. You can murder after that.
John.
Did they take his trophy back?
I think Reggie Bush is the only one. He gave his back.
I thought Goldman ended up getting it in a lawsuit or something.
Yeah. Oh, they won it in a lawsuit?
Yeah.
Well, that's worth a trade for a son.
John Preston said that they could go see Wimpy Man Trudeau.
Wimpy Man Trudeau. Oh, nice. Wimpy Man Trudeau. You mean gorgeous Johnny Trudeau? That's right. Justin Trudeau. My friends in Canada are losing their shit right now because they've introduced, he wants people to use box water, not bottled water. And Canadians are, you can't do that. It comes in bottles. It doesn't come in boxes. What the fuck are you talking about? It's really funny. And people are just filling up boxes with water. And like, is this how you want us to do it? And they're just drunk. It's really funny.
That's like the fucking paper straws.
Do you hate paper straws?
Why? 10 minutes in, it falls apart.
How long does it take you to drink a soda, you pansy?
How long do you have lunch
for? How long? How homophobic are you that you can't suck on a straw real quick and get it done?
Lunch is roughly 20, 30 minutes.
Well,
that shit falls apart through the middle of the
Get 2 straws.
Now you're being wasteful.
No, you're not. They dissolve.
Bring back plastic.
No, it kills the tortoises.
Then what about the plastic cups?
Do you know why? Starbucks? Do you know why? You know why straws kill tortoises?
Why?
Because they do cocaine. And all of a sudden you got really fast tortoises. Screws up the environment. Oh my goodness. I need to talk about one thing. So Sunday, how much time am I in?
We are at. Oh my goodness!
You're 8 minutes in.
8 minutes in. Okay, I got. So we're gonna probably we'll go to Walter in about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. So Sunday night, I went to the gym and some guy like parked beside me and pushed. He had his car over the line and so I was trapped inside the parking spot. Do you know what I'm talking about? Yeah. So I had to crawl through my door or open my door and get a dent on my door because it was that close and slide in. So I had to crawl through. And when I pulled out, I took a picture of the car and I was annoyed. So I Googled the TCP number on it. Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
It's the cab drivers, like they get numbers and they put it on their.
Like the medallion in New York.
So I Googled it and a company came up. So I put it on Instagram and I gave them the old fuck off on that. And they responded with, that's not our company. That's not our car. And we apologize. And if it was us, we would, but you should watch your language before you call somebody out. And I said, I apologize for motherfucking you. and then all of a sudden they're like, why do you keep contacting us? So then I Googled it again and another company came up. So I motherfucked them, and they're like, that's not us. So I ended up having to call the company, and then it was just some dude, just some random dude that drives, like, I guess he owns one car, right? So I just gave up and I just left those other two companies on my my Instagram, and I said, I apologize to you guys, but these people are fucking dicks, and you can get a hold of them. Tell people. Here's my deal with cars. If it's too big to park, it's too big for you to drive. Okay? If you can't park it, you can't drive it. That's fucking the rules right there. It drives me insane. Okay? When you pull into a parking spot and if you get out and you look over and your car's across the line, get in, straighten it back out so the person can, and I'm not talking about if there's nobody around you and you take an extra line. I'm talking if you pull in and somebody's beside you and you park over the line on their fucking car, you get back in the car and you straighten it up, you piece of shit. This is why I agree with Lyft and Uber, because it isn't that difficult of a goddamn job to pick somebody up and drive them someplace. So some guy that it is some mom that's just killing time in between their kid going to fucking school and has the afternoon off can fucking drive an Uber in the afternoon. You don't have to be fucking specially trained for it because this guy can't even park a fucking Yukon. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is love each other.
Eric Eugene Crouch, 2001 Heisman Trophy winner.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the guy that was driving the car. I thought you were able to Google him that instant. Yeah. Nice guy. Really nice guy. Bought some t-shirts. Wearing the mini pearl t-shirts. Love it. Good for them. We'll come back to some things. Now every week we talk about to a new expert. This week I said, hey, who out there deals in mortgages? And actually a stand-up that I know, Walter Reyes, got back to me, said, Ian, I'd love to be on your show and talk about the old mortgages. So Walter, welcome to the show and thanks for coming on. First of all, you don't look when I think of a mortgage officer or a bank mortgage person, I don't think of a guy wearing a brimmed hat and a big beard. So that's cool. First of all,
I don't like to go with the flow in that regard. I wore suits for too long. They don't mean anything. As a matter of fact, to me, I kind of see them as a little red flag now.
Right.
Because this business is kind of sharky.
Right.
You got these sharks training other sharks to go out there and just look really nice. And a lot of people see the suit and tie, see the fancy car, and they just see, oh, this guy must know what the hell he's doing.
To me, and a lot of times, if you see, and it's in stand-up, I will explain this as well. If you see the fancy car, you see somebody with the fancy house, you wonder how much money they're making off you. That's what makes it interesting to me,
And that's what you should think. Honestly, you should really, in my opinion, you should think that. Because there's a lot of, I'm just telling you from firsthand experience, because I started as what's called an inside loan officer. It's like inside sales. So cubicle style, phone ring, answer, the company would do direct mailing and stuff like that. So it was real chill, go to the office, sit there all day, go home.
Right.
And then now I'm what's known as an outside sales loan officer. So I'm responsible for my own business. I have to go out there and network. And that's where I discovered a lot of the shady shit.
Right.
So a lot of big things that I try to educate my clients on is really how the business works behind the scenes.
Well, help my audience know some things. First of all, what is the number one thing that is lacking on our side when we come to you for a loan? What is somebody that is you see most of the time they don't have that they need to get a mortgage?
Well, the first thing
a job
is, if we start, you talk about documentation wise or just knowledge?
Well, knowledge and documentation. Like somebody shows up in your office and they don't have it, and you see it time and time again in your life, and then they have to go get it, and you have to meet up again. What is that thing?
All the pages of your federal tax returns, not just the first page.
All right.
All the pages of your bank statements or your any liquid asset statements, all the pages. When an underwriter sees on the first page 1 of 5 and you gave me 3 pages because the last 2 were blank, I'm going to have to send you back to go get 4 and 5. It's just every single page needs to be accounted for, especially with federal tax returns, and especially with your liquid assets, what you're using as reserves.
So when you bring in the paperwork, all your paperwork means all your paperwork, pages 1 through the end. Nice.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
On a first time mortgage, what do you suggest that they should, what percentage do you suggest a person should be paying for a home of their net income for a month?
What percentage? You mean interest rate?
No, not interest rate. I make $5,000 a month, say, right? What percentage of that should I be spending on a house?
So, I mean, we kind of protect you as the lender. We protect you in that regard because I'm able to use your gross income, not your net. So gross income, I get to use all of it. But realistically, none of us go home with all of our money.
Right.
You know, Uncle Sam takes a chunk of it. So our investors set limits. For example, an FHA, government insured loan, has a maximum of 55% debt to income ratio. That means that 55% of that gross income is the max allowed when you add up all your monthly debt, car payments, credit cards, and it's only things that appear on your credit. So cell phone bills aren't going to appear on there. You know, utility bills aren't going to appear on your credit. So just the minimum payments that appear on your credit, along with the new proposed mortgage payment, all that combined cannot exceed 55% of your gross income. Conventional loans, the max is 45% of your monthly gross income.
Okay, nice. Now, you brought up something. You said a federally insured mortgage is what you said. That protects you guys, right?
That protects the investor.
Okay.
It protects the investor. These programs, such as FHA, for example, have looser guidelines. You know, a 580 FICO score probably won't get you a Best Buy credit card. It'll get you a house. You know, it'll get you a house.
Hold on, back up. It won't get you a Best Buy credit card, but it can get you a house.
Absolutely. 580 FICO score. And actually, we have the ability to even go lower than that, as long as what's called the desktop underwriter system approves it. We use a software, like I said, DU, and we run the whole loan scenario through that system. And if that system gives us a thumbs up, we're good. You know, if it gets us approved eligible, we're good.
Why is
there are cases where you could even have a FICO score lower than 580?
Why is it that a person with a higher credit score gets a lower interest rate and a person with a lower credit score gets a higher interest rate?
Everything is risk-based.
Right.
So everything is risk. That's why your credit affects your interest rate, because, and it's, you know, I like to compare it like it's mafia style, really. You know, it's like, you're not the ideal customer, so we're gonna tax your ass. We're gonna go and charge you a little bit or make a little bit more money off of you. And you know, if you're a higher risk, I might require you to put more down payment because I need you to have more skin in the game.
Well, that's one thing I was gonna bring up to you. Now, if you're at 585, to me, the way it should work, it should be a lower interest rate because you struggle, right? And why wouldn't your down payment be lower? Because chances are, if you're 585, you don't have a very big down payment.
Well, see, that's the balance there. You mentioned two things. You mentioned the FICO score, and you should get a lower interest rate because you're struggling. And then you mentioned. Oh my God, what did you say right after that?
About the down payment.
The down payment. So FHA, for example, which has the most lenient guidelines. Your minimum down payment is 3.5%. So it's a very low down payment, very low. And in comparison, there's you know, the interest rate might be higher, but what I do with my clients is I also compare conventional versus FHA, and I want them to look at honestly, the bottom line is that monthly payment.
Right.
People get stuck on the interest rate, and conventional rates are higher than FHA, but FHA has what's called mortgage insurance, and that's 0.85% of what you're borrowing, not the sales price of the house, but the actual loan amount. And that's broken down into a monthly figure, and that's tacked on to your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. Now you add on MI. So even if the interest rate is lower, because usually it is, once you look at the payments, sometimes the payment might be higher. So I really try to educate people that, yes, the interest rate does matter. But at the end of the day, what matters is which program fits your needs, depending on how much assets you have saved up, how much money you have down, and overall, like, what's your monthly payment? What are you going to commit to for the next 30 years? I just care about which one gives me the lower payment. Doesn't matter how.
Right. So you're going to looking for the lower payment. Now,
that's what I tell my clients. Absolutely.
Have you had somebody walk through the door and just go, no, I can't help you? Or do you say, let me try?
I love challenges. Me personally, like, I come from an environment. I grew up in Southeast LA.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. And, hardly anybody I knew grew up in a house. And it's kind of that demographic that I really embraced, because they're the ones that need the most guidance, and they're the ones that get taken advantage of the most by these suits and ties and fancy cars, because they don't ask questions. They're afraid to ask questions. They're embarrassed to ask questions. And I feel like a little more.
Why? I'm going to interrupt you there. Why is it so scary for everybody? From I think there's very few people that aren't terrified of the word mortgage.
Well, I think honestly, it's kind of, to go into a little self-development real quick. It's just the fear of judgment. You especially in my culture, tons of judgment. I mean, the Catholic religion is all judgment. The environment that we grew up in, even growing up, I say this all the time. I grew up in an environment where you have to have thick skin and get bagged on, and then you have to give it back. All that is judgment. And psychologically, that does get embedded in your head, and you grow up with this, this fear of judgment, or this thing with judgment. Either you're doing it upon yourself, or you're just expecting it because you do it to others. And in my culture, at least, I know that's very predominant, and people just don't like to be embarrassed. They don't like to look bad. But at the end of the day, this is you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right.
Put the ego aside, man, and get educated. Learn. I tell my people, go shop me. Go at least get another option, because one of the great things that happened during the market crash is that some laws changed and they protected the consumer. And one of the big ones is your ability to have your credit ran 2 or 3 times within a 7 to 14 day window, so that you can shop around, so that you can see who's going to give you the better deal without getting dinged for it.
Right.
Back in the day, they'd scare you. They tell you, like, oh, don't let anybody run it, because then your credit's going to go down 20 points and you're not going to qualify anymore.
Right.
Which was, it was kind of true sometimes.
They were kind of true, but at the same time, they're fearing you into going with them immediately.
Absolutely. So
question for you. Question for you personally. This isn't personally. I don't know why it's just that person. How far are you allowed to lend? Are you allowed to lend right across America, or are you only allowed to lend in the Los Angeles area?
So there was one time that I held a total of 6 licenses. So each state requires a license. So you have your NMLS, which is your national. So that allows you now to go get individual licenses with individual states. So at one time, like I said, I was licensed for 6 states. Now I'm only licensed in California.
It just wasn't worth it for you to be licensed. Say somebody came to you and said, I want to borrow in New York and I'd like to go through you. Would you get the license for New York? Or is it even worth it? Or would you try to find a business partner?
I would find a business partner, and probably, just they, depending on the situation, just kind of hand it over. Really, I can't do it. I don't want to do it, but I would love to take the opportunity to find a quality lender. So I do at least take that time to vet someone that's licensed in New York or whatever state they're trying to purchase in, because one of the main things that I focus on is kind of teaching people on how to avoid sharks.
Right.
I'm telling you, man, an eighth of a percent can cost you thousands of dollars more over the life of the loan.
Right.
So depending on whether you're dealing with a retail lender versus a wholesale lender, that might make a difference. It just depends on how they conduct their business. See, where I work, House of Loans, we are, it's we kind of coined a different term where we call ourselves a super broker. And what I love about it personally is that I have wholesale rates direct to consumer. Now I have a standard because of how I conduct my business and because how I do my business. I demand compensation, reasonable compensation, anywhere from 1 to 1.5% of the loan amount. A real estate agent makes usually about 2.5 to 3% on the sales price of the property, but the buyer doesn't pay that. The seller of the property pays that commission, but the buyer pays my commission.
Right.
And I only make money on my commission. And there's two ways that you can pay me. You can pay me through origination, or you could pay me through the interest rate. And that's the part that I like to educate people on, is that the interest rate is something that you should really ask questions about. If they're a retail lender, then I need you to understand that that company they work for has built-in margins in order to be able to pay that loan officer their predetermined commission. Average commission is about 1.4%, and that's built into the rates. A company is not going to take a loss. Okay, they have their profit margin that they're going to make, so they have that built in, and then they built in the compensation for the loan officer as well. So a lot of times when you hear this, no cost loan, you're kind of paying through the rate. I guarantee you.
Nice.
More than likely, I would put 99% chance that you're paying through that interest rate.
So when somebody says there's no money, there's money coming out. Never believe it. Ass, gas, or grass. Nobody rides for free, right?
This is the mortgage industry. This is the most profitable. Real estate is the most profitable business out there.
Cool.
You don't think they're going to make money? Come on, guys.
We have a question. We have a question from online. Renee is going to ask it.
Yeah, Patricia Frank wants to know: do you recommend getting a pre-approval before shopping?
Absolutely. The worst mistake people make is they go shop and then get pre-approved. What is the point of going to look at a $700,000 home when you're only approved for $400,000?
Absolutely.
Do the numbers. You have to do the numbers. And I recommend this with anything. You're going to go buy a car, go get yourself a sweet credit union auto loan at the lowest rate possible, and then go shop. Don't get the dealer loan that's going to be through the roof. They're going to sell you, blah, blah, blah. Same thing with the home loan, man. Go do your homework, get the real numbers, do the real math, determine what is your max mortgage payment, because that's another issue that people find themselves getting into, which is, I want this house. Oh, wait a minute, that's a $6,000 payment for the house?
Is that called house broke when people do that?
Depends on your income, baby. Depends on your income.
Right.
But so you have to be realistic about your finances. And, just because you on paper can afford a $6,000 mortgage payment doesn't mean that you're ready to pay $6,000 a month, nor does it mean that you need that big of a house anyways.
Right.
So if you do the pre-approval first, now you have peace of mind that that the house you're shopping for fits your budget on multiple levels. Another thing is real estate agents' enthusiasm is affected by whether you're pre-approved or not. They're not going to waste time on someone that they don't know if they qualify for a home loan.
Oh, that's a very interesting thing. So don't even talk to them if you're not pre-approved.
Exactly. It's a waste of time because you could not even qualify. And here I did spend a month or two driving you around, Ubering you from house to house, and then you don't qualify. Mm-hmm. It's a huge waste of time for realtors. So it's inconsiderate in a way. It's inconsiderate for yourself, and it's inconsiderate for the real estate professionals trying to help you find this dream home of yours.
Sounds good. We got another question from Renee.
I got a question from Chris Adams. He wants to know, what are your thoughts on pulling money out of your 401k for a first-time buyer? Is it because there's something out there where you could pull out with no penalty, correct?
Well, whenever you're pulling out money from
a feeling that wasn't from Chris.
Whenever you're pulling out money from a 401k to purchase a house, there are benefits. Now, what you really want to look at is the terms of withdrawal. And depending on the type of loan program you're going to get, and depending on how you withdraw the money, and I'll go into details with that real quick, that could affect your buying power as well. Let me explain. Earlier on, I talked about the debt to income ratio, that 45% for conventional and 55% for most government insured home loans. When you take out money from your 401k, for example, and you basically borrow against your own money, which is kind of cool because you borrow that money, they're going to determine what that monthly payment is going to be, and then you repay yourself. So not only do you get that money back, but you also make interest on your own money, which is awesome.
Oh, that's interesting.
There is also, I had a client, use a hardship to pull out money, and there's no taxing on that. He just withdrew $10,000, used the hardship because that was one of the terms of condition, the terms that he was allowed to use, one of the conditions that he was allowed to use, and he used it. But that money is now gone from his 401k. But whenever there's a payment on conventional loans, say, for example, you pull out 10 G and your payment is $130 a month. I have to now count that monthly payment against your overall monthly debt. So we
lost you there. We lost you. Can you repeat that? We lost you there.
You know what? Let's call him back. Let's call him right back.
Call him right back because we lost you there.
Why?
You're
breaking up a bit.
You're breaking up a bit, so we need to. And there's too much information being lost that we don't want the people to lose.
Oh.
So let's call you right back.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I will keep the people interested on Facebook. Hello, Facebook people. To all the people I've offended before, suck my balls. This is actually really interesting stuff that, I didn't know about when we bought the house. We were not pre-approved when we bought the house, just to let people know. We were fine. We were able to get it, but if we had been pre-approved, we may have gotten a better rate or something. So, yeah, this is interesting stuff. That's not just about hitting nails into walls. This is something that we all need to know. People need Walter Ray, as he's given so much information. Oh, hi. Hello, welcome back.
Much better.
That's much better, yeah.
Okay, I'm coming back up.
Okay.
You good?
Yeah.
All right, we were talking about 401k and
taking the money out of the 401k.
Let me go back to that. So with the 401k, depending on the terms of withdrawal, that's going to affect a lot of things. And what I was saying was, for example, a lot of 401k plans have different conditions that will allow you to extract money and different ways to extract it. One of them could be a hardship. Most hardships you don't get taxed on. I'm sorry, take that back. You have to pay a tax on the amount you're taking out, but there is no monthly payment. You already got taxed and that's it. It's your money and you can use that now. So I, as a lender, do not have to worry about what I talked about earlier, which is the debt to income ratio, that percentage, that max percentage with all your debt payments combined. Because, for example, if you borrow against your 401k, there could be a monthly payment that's tacked onto that. And that's kind of like a good thing too. If you have a 401k and you take a loan against your own money, one of the benefits is that you are going to pay yourself back. So you're actually going to make money on borrowing that money because in most cases, there's an interest tacked onto that loan, but you're paying yourself back. It's going back into your 401k. So if you borrow $10,000 at a certain percentage, you're actually going to put in back more than $10,000.
10,000 and whatever percent.
Exactly. Now, the bad part is if I'm going to give you a conventional loan, that monthly payment, say, for example, you take out $10,000 and your monthly payment, they determine is going to be $130. I now have to count that $130 monthly payment against your total monthly debt, which can reduce your buying power. Not going to be a lot, but it will reduce it by a few $1,000s.
Right.
Now, you take out a hardship, there's no monthly payment, and I don't have to worry about it. Now, the same scenario with the loan, with the $130 payment, the great part about that is when it comes to an FHA loan or a government insured loan, I don't have to count that against you. So to answer your question, is it a good idea? It just depends on your reality. If you need to go in there and get money because you're $8,000 short, or you're $10,000 short, which we will determine in the beginning, another great reason to get pre-approved because we take a look at your assets and see how much you're going to be short approximately. So we can give you an idea, hey, Ian, you have, $15,000 in the bank. Based on the numbers we're running, it looks like you're still going to need anywhere from another $7,000 to $10,000 because we're looking at a total of about 25 or 26,000. Now you're like, okay, let me go check with my 401k. I need $10,000. Let me see what the terms of withdrawal are.
401k.
Let me see what my options are. And now you come back to us and tell me, okay, I'm gonna take a loan and it's gonna be this monthly payment, and then I'll be able to work that in and let you know how that affects our buying power. But it's just reality. If you need the money and it's there, absolutely good.
Okay. Chris? We've got another one from Renee.
Now, is there a difference as a first-time buyer? Is there any different programs for pulling out on the 401k, or is it the same across the board?
Just even though I think me personally, I've been doing this, by the way, since 2003. So
you look
no
great.
rookie. I've been doing it for a long time. And I've done processing, account managing, as well as being a lender, it's a loan officer. And the first time home buyer thing, the benefits are very minimal. Most of the time, the benefits lie with your city because there's grants available. But it takes work to go do your homework on the city that you want to go be a part of. A lot of cities have incentives that can help you out with that, with getting a little money as a bonus. Like, we'll help you out with this much. Just don't move or sell for 5 years. And if you reach that time frame, we'll forgive the loan and welcome to Los Alamitos or welcome to Seal Beach or whatever.
Yeah, that's my neighborhoods.
So the first time home buyer thing, a down payment assistance is one of the benefits. It's just very minimal, to be very honest with you. Very minimal, the benefits of a first time home buyer. The loan programs are pretty much the same. But one of the benefits, for example, is having access to, say, an FHA loan, where you can have, very low down payment, horrible credit score, high debt to income, and you can still qualify because FHA can only be used as a primary residence, but you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. So it's kind of sold as one. Like, say I own a property right now, but I have a conventional loan. I could buy my next one, and as long as I'm going to live in it as my primary residence, I can use FHA. So the benefits for first-time home buyer, I just think it's like more of a sales ploy, like a sales thing. It's just a catchy verbiage.
Mm-hmm.
It's bait. It's clickbait. So because for the most part, there's really not a huge amount of benefits.
I like it. Walter, we've learned a lot today. Our show's only about 35 minutes. We would like you to come back at some point and talk again. Would you be interested in doing that?
Absolutely, man. I'd love to be the house lender.
The house lender. People can go to houseofloans.com to get a hold of you.
They go there. And if you guys have any questions, I give out my number. It's 949-303-9444. And my email is walter@walterlens, LENDS. Ian had a little problem with that earlier.
I thought it was lens. Like, I thought he also did. I thought he did glasses as well.
Yeah, it's short for lending, of course. So walter@walterlens.com. And I'd love to help you out. And I'd also like you guys to know that one of the things that I do different is I don't work alone as a lender. I have another loan officer that works with me. I took inventory of my strengths. And even though I've done processing, I've done account managing, my strength is what I'm doing right now, which is educating.
Okay.
I love to sit down with people and educate people, but I do not like to do the grunt work. Luckily, my boy Rick Cruz loves doing the grunt work. He's like that nerd that loves calculating the numbers and going through all the documents, and he's the engineer.
Right.
And we also together have a loan concierge. One of the things that I hate hearing from clients is once they've been approved and once they find their house, everybody disappears. The communication dies down. I got them. I'm moving on to the next one. And now the processor, which may or may not be good at communicating, is now in charge for dealing with most of the communication. And I feel that's a huge disservice. I don't need to hold your hand along the way, but I'd like to be there in case you feel the need to.
Awesome.
And having like 3 people on it at all times, it really does make a huge difference. And just, human error is always there. It's present. So to have 3 brains on every single deal, it does minimize errors and, hang-ups and all that stuff. So it really does benefit.
Love it. Well, I'm pretty sure there's somebody in this room that might be contacting you. I'm not going to say his name is Ian or Chris, but his name is Renee. We'd love to have you back on and talk about some things some more, and maybe just maybe I will do to come in and fill out forms just to go through it and get pre-approved. Cool. Maybe just to do that, so we have it on the show. I'll come get pre-approved, and then maybe Ian Bagg goes house shopping. Maybe that's what we'll do the next. So thank you, Walter, and good luck with your stand-up as well. I know you're a great stand-up, but you're more passionate about this. I'm going to be honest with you. You love stand-up, but you're way more passionate about this. So thanks for coming by.
I'm just more knowledgeable about this stand-up. I just wing that shit.
Yeah. I just wing that shit. That guy described my career.
There's no entrance exam to like become you don't need a license to become a stand-up comic.
I know. Jesus, all you need is 2 legs to get to stage, and sometimes somebody will carry you there. Anyways.
And you know what? I can open up for you again. I love doing it.
You should come out sometime.
I will.
I need a better percentage, though. I'm going to need a better percentage on a loan. Thank you, Walter.
I'm going to teach you about interest rates.
You okay?
You're going to get. I think next time we should talk about just interest rates alone. I think you'll be mind blown on how that works.
Well, I do. There's other things I want to talk to you about because we did talk about first getting a loan, but I also want to talk about when you should refinance and stuff like that. And so we will discuss more.
Honestly, right now, if you have gotten a loan, if you're anywhere near 4.5 or higher, you should refinance right now. Right now, I'm in the high 3s, mid to high 3s, lowest we've been in 24 months. So you're anywhere above that. It's just math, man. And I'll do the math for you. And I do real math. Say you have 25 years left and we refinance. Obviously, you're going to go back into a 30-year loan. So we have to take those 5 years you've paid into consideration and make sure that this is a win-win.
Right.
Like that's worth but some people it's tight and they just need a lower monthly payment, and it's worth starting over.
Well, we'll discuss that again. I know we're getting into it. We'll discuss that again. Thank you, Walter.
All right, guys.
Have a great day. One. House of Loans. Walter Lenz at walterlenz.com.
Yeah.
Awesome, guys. That was good. That was a very informational talk, and I think that's the kind of stuff we're looking for on this show. And if you have somebody in your life that is a plumber, that is an insulator, that does floors, that that does decorating, home decor, I want to talk to all the experts in this. I don't even know which camera I'm looking at, so I'm going to need to find a cameraman to talk to because I'm looking all over the place. We went a little bit longer than we usually do, so I'm just going to quickly wrap it up and tell you guys where I am this week. San Diego on Wednesday night. I'm doing a show for the Humane Society of San Diego. It's going to be me. I'm going to be there. Come out. All the money goes to the Humane Society of San Diego. Wednesday night, American Comedy Company. Come see me there, okay? The rest of the weekend, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I will be in Buffalo, New York, at the Helium Comedy Club. So come see me there. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, 1 on Thursday. Come see me there. Next week, I'll be in Pittsburgh at the DVE Comedy Festival. If you're in Pittsburgh, come see me there. Meanwhile, thank you for watching Ian Bagg Bought a House. It's always good to talk to you guys about homes. We all live in them. I don't care who you are. Even if it's just a tent on a street, it's your home. And we need to learn how to do things the right way. Ian Bagg Bought a House. Brought to you by Lowe's. Lowe's! No, it's not brought to you by Lowe's. It's brought to you by my fucking friends, Chris and Renee. Have a good day. Tell me when we're out, Chris. I'll sing to people. My wife told me not to sing anymore. She's like, can you stop singing on that fucking show you do? God damn it. I'm like, girl, you love me because it's true, baby. St. Louis Blues. My hat is off to you. St. Louis Blues.